Loshak at? The bottles getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. He's Jimmy the Bag. My name's Peter Loshak. I got a little bit of a new look for today. We'll see how this turns out as far as luck is concerned. We got a huge card, so we're going to try to keep a brisk pace. It's always a weird time if you're in sports betting, but not always, but often. Now we've got the trade deadline in NHL, right, Jimmy the Bag? I'm sure you're aware of that. So that's going to shake things up. We got in college basketball, the conference championships coming up. So that's a little bit quirky and weird. You know what I mean? Some teams care, some teams don't. It's hard to say. We got NBA, which is always fucked up and weird every single day, right? So we got 3 different sports. We're going to cover them all, 30 games in depth. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I feel good. I'm looking good, Jimmy the Bag. You look good. I'm sure everyone in the comment section is looking good. All right. You ready, Jim?
I am very much ready. We're going to be quick, so we're not going to give too much to this intro. Do want to give you guys a shout out because it is the chat that makes this show special. Viper MB, Rocco Rogers, Kevin P, J Dub, D Jenkins, Kadesh, Dean, Mike IKD, Archie 20, Von Polo, J Rowe from Make America Great Again, RVD 420, and Serious Business. Capper's ready to get to work right now. There's Lucas Ryan in the house. So a couple things before we fire away and move quickly through this card. 3 things. One, last Tuesday was spectacular. It was as good as a day. It was the best, day we've had as a group in a long time. So, did
I do well last Tuesday?
You did.
Okay,
very
great.
Well. It was a huge day. It was a huge day all around. And Daby Cab was excellent as well. It was just great day. So we got to keep that going from what we did last Tuesday. Second news is this Saturday, we continue the road to the Kentucky Derby, hosted by Razor Sharp Picks and myself all day, all night horse racing on Saturday. And please join us for that. I think we have the thumbnail here. We don't have it up right now, but we will. Jose will get it up for us at some point, and we will share that with you guys. But all day, all night, horse racing. 3 big stakes races over at the Aqueduct. Big A, we have the Gotham Stakes. 50 points to the winner for the Kentucky Derby. We have the Fountain of Youth down at Gulfstream, and then we have it's the San Felipe Stakes over at Santa Anita. And we have a real field for this one, unlike the Robert B. Lewis that had just a 4-horse field that were all Baffert horses. So it's going to be a huge day. My family's not going to be here. It's just going to be me alone here. So I'm going to be feeling good, drinking heavily and hammering horses. So that's big. And then the most important news.
How about just watching Ozark by yourself in the comfort of your own home, Jimmy the Bag? How about that?
Will not be happening.
Okay.
Will not be happening. Not whatsoever. That is what will be happening. Thank you, Jose, for firing that up right there. I can't wait. So it starts early, 10:45 a.m. We have a huge UFC night. It's going to be going on simultaneous with our NCAA Pub Hub. It's just a giant day Saturday at Pub Sports Radio. Then the biggest news of all, though, the biggest news I've heard in some time is our Pistol Pete Loshak has booked his flight for Pubapalooza 2 in San Antone. Pete, we're so excited, man.
Oh, I'm so excited. That is true. I booked it, but that doesn't mean I'm getting on the plane. Last minute, I might hold out. I might be like, unless I am guaranteed 1 BBW, I'm not showing up. But yes, it's true. The flight is booked.
That's very exciting. We're very, very excited to have you rolling in San Antone. So, Peter.
You didn't think that was a funny joke, Jim?
I'm just so excited that I'm blinded by any attention.
That's a no. All right. Okay.
No, we can get you a BBW. We can guarantee everything.
I'm kidding. Of course I'm going to show up.
Everything you need. Make America Great Again says plenty of BBWs in San Antonio. D. Jenkins says Loshak has his priorities straight. There's Bruce Shad in the house. Haven't seen Bruce in a long time. Nice to see you, Bruce. So that's so exciting. So everybody knows now. You come to San Antonio from Pubapalooza 2, Pistol Pete Loshak is going to be there. for all of it. So Dan Kelly said it didn't sound like a joke to him. It sounded very serious.
A lot, people say that, there's some truth to every joke. And I've been on record in these shows saying that's pure bullshit. But there's definitely some truth to many jokes. And that is one of them. It was a joke and the truth at the same time.
We have a ton of work to do. Let's start firing away. Jose's going to try to keep us with a brisk pace, but no more further ado. We have 10 games in NHL, 10 games in NBA, and 11 games in NCAA basketball. For those of you wondering how we're going to do basketball, I just made the decision, and it's more, first off, we're doing all 4 quarterfinal games in the ASUN.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 of those ASUN games, and then we're doing 7 Power 5 games. There's going to be other spots that Pete and Daby Cab may want to speak about, but those are the ones that we have listed. I just felt like it's a really good time to focus on the quarterfinals of the ASUN because we're going to be capping it all week. So that's what's up. There's Noli Knows in the house. There is Sky Dragon, Andrew G, Dan Kelly. Great group. Jason Turgi. Let's get right to work. We start in NHL. Pete, set the table for us. Let's get to work.
Okay, once again, hanging over all these games is the trade deadline, right? Roster uncertainty. Now, you know way more than I do, Jimmy the Bag, how this affects teams. Some teams it probably doesn't affect at all. Sometimes it probably affects positively or negatively. Detroit-Ottawa is the first game. This is the one game that I definitely liked on the overnight lines. Of course, this is the second game of a 2-game set that they're playing in a row. The last game, Ottawa just blew them out, and it was a sloppy game by Detroit. And Detroit is whenever a team that has some life to them plays a sloppy game, I always look to back them in the next game, especially in the rare situations when they're playing the exact same team again. Before that last game, Detroit, fine. They had won 7 out of 8. Gotta think that at the very least, Detroit first period as a dog has value. Probably Detroit full game. I also took a shot with the team total over, even though it was a little bit juicy at just 2.5 minus 160. Detroit first period, Detroit team total over, and probably Detroit on the money line as well. What do you think, Jim?
I agree. I've made 4 bets, and 3 of them are in one game. So I've still got some action that I'm interested in. And this is one of them. Right off the hop, let's take a look at the line history here for this Red Wings Senators spot. Detroit opening up at Pinnacle at plus 116. They're now at plus 115, so there's no real movement there. Totals wise, it's opened up at 6.5, minus 111 to the under. It's now minus 114 to the under, so no real movement there as well. We have Ville Husso going up against Mads Søgaard. Søgaard has looked quite good in 4 games. Do we expect it to continue? He comes from Belleville, dirty Belleville, home of Mr. Gokster. He's very tall. Mr. Gokster calls him a statue. He's not very quick moving, but he's been good through 4 games in the NHL this year. Husso, 907 save percentage, 3 shutouts. He's playing better and better and better. Yes, I want Detroit. I don't really want to double up, though.
Why not?
So do we go first period or full game, or are we forced to bet both? Maybe we are. Detroit 7-3-0 over their past 10, playing a 28.6% power play, 83.3% penalty killing. Shout out to Nasty Nate.
Hell yeah.
Now member for 4 months. Says, Pete, please bring those shades to Pub. I still can't believe you're going to be there, Pete. I can't believe I can't believe you're going to be there. I'm so excited.
Well, I still can't believe you thought my BBW joke wasn't funny. I'm pretty sure it was funny. I loved it. I'm happy. It's okay if you didn't like it. It's fine.
I didn't dislike it. Ottawa, 6-3-1, 19.4% power play, 85.7% penalty killing. Rocco Rogers says Helberg didn't make amazing saves. That would have been way uglier even. So Pete already talked about second half back-to-back. They played last night. Ottawa won 6-2. The Wings had won 7 of 8, but it's the Wings' second straight loss, Senators' second straight win. And Ottawa outplayed Detroit badly. Outshot them 42-24, won the face-off battle, led in the hits department. There was nothing they didn't win. They were just clearly the better hockey team. Giroux, a goal and 3 assists. Chabot, a goal and 2 assists. Detroit still 3 points behind Pittsburgh for that second wildcard spot. Buffalo just a point behind the Penguins, 2 up on Detroit. Red Wings are in a 3-way tie with Florida and Washington, 2 teams going in the opposite direction. And Lucas Raymond was activated from the IR before the game yesterday and didn't play well. Only played 12:31, was a -2, got 2 shots, did not look good. Sammy Cummings says, Jimmy, is it always 1 unit for you, or would you ever split that unit up and put a half on? I wouldn't go a half and a half. No, if I would go to 75%. I don't like I don't want to have, just for me, with my unit size of $200, 100 on each. I'd prefer just have 200 on one spot there, or 150 and 150, 75%. So Markel says going back over. I don't want to double up here, but I don't know if I prefer the first period over the full game or not, Pete. What are you going to make official? And let's move on to game 2.
I'm going to make 2 bets official. For second of all, I want to say that I'm copying and pasting all the comments that people are making about games that we're going to talk about later. I'm just going to make 2 no-brainer plays to start. Detroit first period money line plus 109. Detroit first period money line plus 109, and Detroit team total over 2.5 minus 160. That's both at Pinnacle right now. 2.5 minus 160 Detroit.
Well, I agree. I think Detroit is going to come. They were playing such good hockey. I think they're going to come hard here. Hard. Stimmy OG's on the over 6.5. Rob Garvey in the house. Brian Watson. I want in on Detroit first period and Detroit full game. I think the biggest spot here is, regardless of Sogard's first 4 games, there's a huge goaltending advantage for Detroit in this game, in my estimation. Forget the .919 save percentage in 4 games. It's just not there. Hasn't been enough sample size. Detroit's power plays at 28.6%. Both penalty killings have been good. There's our guy Fap win. Right State team total over 83.5 for our Fap win. I'm going to copy and paste that. But okay. I'm going to come in. I feel like this is a must bet. This is an angry group.
All right, Jim, you talk me into it. Add on Detroit full game up -1 plus 203.
Okay, let me get this all
tripling up
here. I just need to copy and paste our guy Fap. There's Razor Sharp Pick says 3 days, 23 hours, and 31 minutes. But who's counting? Yeah, that's a big horse racing show here on Saturday. There's our guy Nate Dogg in the house as well. So I love that you're going on the -1 as well, Pete. I don't think I'm going to do that myself. -1 was at plus 203.
Yeah.
Okay, you are in business. I'd like first period and full game, and expect to bet it. So let's move on. We're rocking and rolling, and this next game is huge for me.
Yeah, unfortunately, the rest of the card, I don't really have any strong opinions on as yet. Well, except for one game. This is not one of them. Florida at Tampa Bay, right? Florida just kind of 50-50, over-trending recently. About 75% of their games going over past 3 weeks or so. Tampa Bay blasted at Pittsburgh last game and kind of losing. But this is a big game. Both teams are fighting for their playoff lives here. It means a lot. When both of these teams are at elite level, normally I'd be looking at first period unders when they meet up in a spot like this. In this situation, though, with both teams, not doing that great, and Florida particularly trending over, I'm not looking that way. It's high total 7. And Tampa Bay is a big favorite here. First glance with zero analysis. If I had to if you gave me a free play and I had to make that decision right now in 3 seconds, I guess I'd click it on Florida just because they're getting a big dog line here. Will Tampa Bay bounce back? I don't know. You might though, Jimmy the Bag. What do you think?
My favorite game on the card across all sports. So Florida is in huge trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I watched their game the first time seeing them. Again, well, for me, the first time seeing them without Bennett and Barkov at center. And
right, I forgot to mention that too. Right, go ahead.
They're asking too much from Anton Lundell, a 12th overall pick in the 2020 draft. They're just asking too much of him now. They're in huge trouble. Get ready for the Panthers to let go and start trading parts. Their season's over. Not only that, but Barkov, I mean, we forget how he's great offensively. He's accountable defensively. He wins faces. He's also 6'3", 215 pounds. Sam Bennett is 6'1", 195, but Sammy Bennett plays bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big, big loss for Florida, and I just don't see how they are going to score goals. I do not see how they're going to score goals here. This is my most confident spot on the board. I'm on the Lightning -1 at -108 with Sammy Comer. I'm on Tampa Bay, Florida, under 7 at -125. I'm on the Panthers team total under 3 at -112. That's an under 2.5 at +145 and under 3.5 at -175. Let's quickly discuss the line history here. Opened up with the Lightning -166. They're now -170. There was a 19-cent move towards the Lightning at 8:04 a.m. Since then, it's come back 8 cents. But there was a big move towards them at one point this morning. Totals wise, it's opened up at 7 minus 122 to the under. It's exactly where it is right now, 7 minus 122 to the under. Rocco Rogers says Lightning revenge. They will beat the Doonies out of Florida. This is Vasilevsky has turned the switch on. And when he does that, they're just going to be so hard to beat. Also, they pick up Tanner Jeannot. You could say that they paid too much for Tanner Jeannot, the toughest guy on the Nashville Predators, leading them in hits, leading them in fights. This Tampa Bay Lightning team is so dangerous. Their bottom 6 forwards are so good, and we already know about their top 6 forwards. This Tampa Bay Lightning, my heart goes out to Toronto Maple Leaf fans who are going to have to see the Lightning in the first round. Now, who cares about the 7-2 loss in Pittsburgh? We were live for that game. That was our live bet stream. I said Pittsburgh should be favored. This is a bad spot for Tampa. The over was the best possible spot on the entire board, and Pittsburgh completely caught fire. Is Pittsburgh going to get hot right now? They're a very streaky group. I'm betting that they are. But here, Florida 6-4-0 over the past 10, 7.7% power play over the past 10 games. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't have Barkov, his big body, his soft hands. He's a sniper. He does everything. He wins faceoffs. You also don't have Bennett, who would be your second-line center in there. You're in trouble now. Your penalty killing at 74.2%. Tampa 5-2-3, 22.9% power play, 85.2% penalty killing over the past 10 games. So Florida comes in off a 3-1 loss at home to the Sabres on Friday night. Get used to those types of hockey games. Sabres are playing huge scoring, high-scoring games against everyone. And then now with Florida, without their top 2 center, I mean, it's going to be dump and chase. It's going to be ugly hockey. They're going to try to win defensively. And so for this Lightning team, you have an angry Lightning team against their in-state rival, coming off their second loss in 3 games, 7-2 at Pittsburgh on Sunday. Eric Cernak returning from his 2-game suspension. So I'm on the other side of Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg's a great capper, so I don't like being on the other side of him, but I'm on the other side of him very confidently. Under 7, Panthers team total under 3, Lightning -1. I don't see how the Panthers are going to score goals, and I believe that if Nate wants to cash his Florida over 7, Tampa's going to have to score 6 goals.
Which could happen, considering how bad Florida is defensively.
I don't think they're that bad defensively because now they don't have offense. So now they can't pinch. They can't do some of the things that they were doing before. I do not think this is going to be a team that's going to have all this over hockey moving forward. I think this is going to be like what happened to the Avalanche without McKinnon. Remember for that stretch? And I was like, watch how defensive they start playing. They're going to have to start playing defense. That's the only way they can do things. So, all
right. Yeah. You had me at 15 seconds after your analysis. The rest of those minutes, I didn't even need. I'm telling you, Jimmy the Bag, I'm going to take Tampa Bay -1, -104. That's the current line at Heritage. It's actually -111 at Pinnacle right now. So Heritage a little slow. I'll take that. Tampa Bay -1, -104. I'll also take Florida team total under 3.5, -155. Current line at Heritage. That's also a better line than at Pinnacle. So that's nice to see. Florida team total under 3.5, -155. And I'd love to triple up on the first period. Why not Tampa Bay first period as well?
Because Florida's going to park the bus.
Right.
They're going to play strong defense, like a 0-0 first period would not shock me. If the Florida's up 1-0 after the first period, I would have no concern whatsoever. I have the much better hockey team, and give me every single minute of this hockey game to show how much better my hockey team is.
Got it. Sammy Comer likes Tampa Bay. I'm in this confidently. If it loses, I will be perfectly fine with what I did. Just pounded it, Jimmy the Bag.
I like it a lot.
All right. You want Sky Dragon? Go ahead. Sky Dragon likes the under. That's nice to see.
Yeah, I feel this was the. Now look, just because you have confidence, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a catcher. But this is a game where I just felt like I saw so clearly here. I watched the Panthers play without Bennett and without Barkov. Because I didn't realize. I thought Sammy Reinhart can step up. I was like, they have Duclair back. You can move Verhaeghe over to center. I started thinking about all the things they could. Well, they can't do that. And I underestimated how spectacular Barkov is. And then you lose Sammy Bennett, whom I'm a big fan of, even though Calgary got rid of him. So let's keep rolling though, Pete. We got to keep Jackets and Sabres.
This is a classic situation in this game. In this point of the season. Trade deadline, Columbus is going to be sellers, all sorts of roster shakeups for Columbus as a result of that. How does that affect them? A lot of times it's going to make them a big dog. The guys coming in, maybe they're going to be playing harder. Maybe they're going to be looking for their chances. Really hard to get a read on, at least for me. And then Buffalo, definitely rolling off a 7-goal win. So, my first thought is, sure, how's Columbus going to stop Buffalo? Maybe Buffalo team total over. But again, with roster shakeups, you want to at least think 1.5 times, if not twice, before pulling the trigger on a big favorite. What do you think? Does Buffalo roll here, Jim?
I don't know. I don't know if Buffalo rolls, and my interest is very much on the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm interested. I'm not going to double up. I'm going to be involved with them. And if I'm too scared, I'll keep it to 20 minutes. But I want Columbus. But I wanted to talk it out before I bet it. Jackets opened up at Pinnacle plus 190. They're now plus 177. They got down to plus 166 at 11:07 a.m. There was some buyback on Buffalo. So that at 11:07 a.m., like right at the start of the show, there had been a 24-cent move towards the Blue Jackets. Now that has come back a little bit. Totals wise, this opened up at 6.5 minus 122 to the over. It got up to minus 128 to the over, and now they're showing the 7s on the board. Honestly, that surprises me a little bit. And I guess we talk about the weakness of the goaltending. So Northander says, who's in net for the Sabres? Says can't fade the 40. That's crucial here. Jackets need to have Korpisalo in net. Can't have Merzlikins in net. So could somebody see if we can confirm the goaltenders here? Then Craig Anderson knows this is his last hurrah here in the NHL. He's playing very well, and I'm a big fan of his. Columbus 4-3-3 over their past 10, playing at 14.8% power play, 79.2% penalty killing. Lee Davis saying Craig Anderson confirmed. I need to know who's in net for the Jackets badly. Buffalo 5-4-1, 18.5% power play, 68% penalty killing. Columbus comes in off a tough 3-2 overtime loss in Minnesota on Saturday. D-man Adam Bockfist, they've actually been getting a little bit healthier of late, but Bockfist, day-to-day with lower body injury. He was injured in that 6-5 win over Edmonton. He's replaced by Billy Sweezy, who's brought up from AHL Cleveland on Saturday. Bockfist has been very good. Good young defenseman. I like him. The Sabres come in off their third straight win, a 7-4 victory at home over Washington on Sunday. Rasmus Dahlin missed the game with an undisclosed injury. He's been absolutely incredible this year and maybe in line for his first Norris Trophy if he can finish the year strong and stay healthy. Alex Tuck is now week to week with a lower body injury. That's a huge loss. He's being placed on injured reserve Saturday. He was hurt in the 3-1 win over Florida. 62 points, 57 games, 164 shots on goal. So he's going to be out for 2 weeks. So I expect Victor Olofsson to step up, but Okaposo might be getting the opportunity as well. But I expect it to be Victor Olofsson, who I'm also a fan of, and I love seeing him on the power play. With all that said, I do not really so Washington is done. And we know that Ovechkin's extremely upset, had to speak with ownership about the trade of Orlov, his best friend, and Connor Hathaway, their toughness. I don't care that what Washington's looking around going, okay, we've given up on the season. Of course, then they go out and they lay an egg. I think the Sabres are vulnerable here. With that, is Dahlin going to be back? You lose Tuck. If Korpisalo is in net, and look, I'm just not going to make this bet if I don't know. I can't have Merzlikins between the pipes. If Korpisalo's in net, Lee Davis says Cousins played out of his mind Sunday versus Washington. He's a phenomenal young player. But I would like to have Columbus. If I'm too scared, I'll take them first period. That may be the case. But I think there's too much value on Columbus here with the Dahlin and Tuck injuries. And Columbus is playing good hockey. They're playing tough hockey. They win in Edmonton 6-5, then they lose in overtime at Minnesota. Those are two tough spots to play. I mean, you'd be fair to say that this is the easiest of those 3 games. So it's a tough call, but I do want the Jackets. And Boakfist first one on the ice. That's good to hear. I like hearing that. Fanatical Jim says, I wouldn't be surprised if they sit Korpisalo so they can try and trade him. Look, that's so important. So if as soon as I know that Korpisalo's in, I'll move on the Jackets, and I expect to be a little bit nervous and take him first period.
Okay, I'm going to pass, Jim.
All right, all good. Darlene was not on the ice for the morning skate. I do not expect Darlene to be in the lineup then. That's a big piece. But he may be. He's too young. He's too important. I think he gets another day off. Now, Owen Power steps up in his absence. Owen Power is going to be a monster, but he's not quite there yet. Sammy Cummings says Sabres minus 210 is hilarious to me. I agree. Look at this. What are they? 12, 15, and 2 at home? That's bad. But they're a good young hockey team.
So did you take Columbus officially?
No. I'm not going to do that until I know Korpisalo's in net.
Okay.
I'm not going to bet on this hockey. I'll stay off rather than that. But if I find out Korpisalo's in net and it's Korpisalo versus Anderson, I will even have interest. I might even have it. Let's just see what that under is. Under 7 at -1. I'll have interest in the under as well. If I can get Korpisalo, I'll have interest in Columbus first period and the under.
Okay. You want to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, next game, Isles, Minnesota. This one, pretty obvious the way this is likely to turn out based on looking at these teams. 2 very low-scoring teams, under-trending teams, and 2 teams that play close games, right? Minnesota's actually been winning, but they've won most of those games by 1 goal or 2 goals. Very close games for Minnesota, very low-scoring games. Minnesota actually under in 13 of their last 15 games. The Islanders, not quite as stark as that, but also a strong under-trending team. Not a surprise that the total is so low. I actually didn't prepare last night. I prepared this morning, so I don't exactly know what the opening line was. But this morning it was 5.5, used heavily to the under. Got to assume it's going to be a close game, so maybe you'd want to take a shot with Islanders +1 or +1.5. But of course, in that situation, you're paying huge juice, so I don't know about that. Is the under a no-brainer, or is it a trap? And is there any way to play the money lines, or are they dead on?
The under is a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
But it was offered for me even last night at -140, and it hasn't moved.
Mm-hmm.
It's too expensive. I looked at what I would make if I turned it into a 5. So I would have interest. I had interest on turning it into a 5. I haven't moved on it yet, but I'd like to hear what people in the chat have to say. Line history-wise, this opened up with the Wild at -140 to now -139, no movement. Totals wise, it's opened up at 5.5 -135 to the under, and they're showing 5s now on the board. +122 to the under at 5. Danzo saying Columbus, you're going to get 100% every night. So I agree with it. Die Hard says the way the Islanders are playing, though, I will take them plus money any chance I get. The first period under is at -120. The problem with that, in all honesty, is I know this game is going to trend to the under, and I don't want a bad bounce to make it 1-1 after 1, because then I wouldn't be surprised to be 1-1 after 2. So I'm a little hesitant at that. I'm a little hesitant all the way around. But we have Sorokin in net for the Islanders. We have Fleury listed here. I'd be curious to see who's in net for the Wild. So Islanders 5-3-2 over their past 10, 22.2% power play, 77.8% penalty killing. Listen to this for Minnesota: 6-2-2 over their past 10, 23.1% power play, and for the first time all season long in the last 10 games, 100% penalty killing. The Minnesota Wild have not allowed a power play goal in 10 games. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Rayhan Hyder in the house. We're going to see Rayhan Hyder in San Antonio here shortly. There's Ron Crawford ready to get to work. And Billy Friedrich says Gustafsson confirmed in net for the Wild. So these teams are just engaging in very low-scoring games. Islanders coming off their 3rd win in 4 games, 4-0 at Winnipeg on Sunday. And the Wild are rolling. They're rolling all of a sudden. They come in off their 5th win in 6 games, 3-2 in overtime at home over Columbus on Sunday. They've allowed just 5 goals in their last 6 games. Spreadsheet play of the day is on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Is that Lightning in regulation, Ron? I'd like to know that. But
he probably would agree with any which way. Any which way.
So, yeah, I mean, do I want to take the under 1.5? I don't want it juiced. I mean, I guess I have interest in the 5. And Fanatical Jim says Merzlikins is expected to start for Columbus. I simply will not make that bet. And I'm so happy that we just talked about what was going to be official or not. If Merzlikins is in, I'm the fuck out.
Listen, Jim, can I quickly say something?
Yes, my man.
I'm going to take, actually, Islanders Wild under 5.5 -138, because I just looked at Pinnacle. 5.5 Pinnacle is all the way down to -153. Heritage is still hanging at 138, so I just bet that, and you can make that official. If it loses, fine. I think I'll make it up with my triple up on, my double up and triple up on Tampa Bay and Detroit. But I'll make that official. Under 5.5 minus 138. No brainer.
Yeah, I mean, I still have the minus 140 being offered to me. Maybe
I'm going to take it.
Maybe I should say that's. Look, the Islanders are just simply not going to score many goals. You take out Bailey and Barzal. I mean, we're talking about extremely important pass-first players. So you're still going to be able to win hockey games because you have such a strong unit. Like Pulock and Pelech are phenomenal on the back end, and you have accountable forwards up front. Maybe I should just take the under 5.5 minus 140. I don't know if I have ever done that in my life. I don't know if I've ever taken a minus 140 total, but I think I probably should.
I don't know, Jim. I'm going to take it. I bet it, but,
I think
you see this all the time in all kinds of sports, especially football. Two very low-scoring teams with a low total soars over unexpectedly,
I'd be shocked. I don't see how. I just don't see how. So let's roll on. But I think I'm going to take the under 5.5 minus 140. Okay, let's roll on. All
right.
Next spot is a fun one.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Nashville. This is the other game that I did bet on the overnight line. Not as confidently as Detroit bets that I made, but I did take Pittsburgh here, right? Now, Pittsburgh blasted Tampa Bay in that last game. Before that, they had not been good. The question is, have they turned a corner or not? Definitely, they need wins, right, for the playoffs here. So after the 7-3 win, I don't think it's a letdown spot for them because they were losing a bunch of games in a row. Nashville back home after two straight, high-scoring, big margin road wins. But they are also having some roster turmoil as far as the trade deadline is concerned. So unlike Columbus, I think this is maybe not a great spot for Nashville. I'm guessing here that the trade deadline shenanigans will affect them in a negative way. Pittsburgh is a team that I am okay betting on right now. Maybe still a little bit of a buy low spot on Pittsburgh. So I did take a shot with Pittsburgh on the overnight line. Actually, at one of my books, I didn't even bother with a -1. I just took -1.5 because I think they probably roll. Leaning Pittsburgh here, Jim.
Yeah, I bet Pittsburgh. I got them on the -1 line at plus 130. At that time, the puck line for me was plus 205.
Wow.
Wow. It's gone back up to 195, but it was at plus 185 this morning. It'd been a 20-cent move on the puck line. But so this is a little nerve-wracking here. One, I believe, I think it was Mike M, but a lot of us have a bias towards the Penguins and Crosby and Malkin and kind of want them to play well. And we have a vivid bias of them playing well. And, they're coming off a 7-3 win at home to the Lightning, and they need to win so badly here.
Right.
But what makes me nervous is I have an inability to explain how Nashville scored 26 goals in their last 5 games. I don't get it.
Well, they were playing some crappy teams, weren't they?
Still, that's a lot of goals. 6-2 at Arizona on Sunday. Yeah, they're crappy teams. It's just I just can't quite figure out how they're doing it. They've now lost Tanner Jeannot. Their toughness, undrafted player, works his way up, leads the team in hits, leads the team in fights. Just a perfect player for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now they overpaid for him, but they seem to have no concern overpaying for Hagel and Jeannot and guys who are have really great contracts to fit in with their system. The Lightning's bottom 6 forwards are probably my favorite bottom 6 forwards in the NHL. I feel terrible for all Leafs fans who are about to witness the Lightning beat them again. But here I had to bet I can't understand. You keep stripping the Predators of players, of important, crucial players, and they keep succeeding. I can't figure it out, and I just don't expect it. I feel like it's an anomaly. I just don't. Isn't
it just the standard explanation, which is that the guys who are replacing them are suddenly getting their chance to really prove themselves, and so they're playing 100% all out? Maybe the talent in general is a little bit lower than the guys they're replacing, but the effort and motivation is double.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yes, but just the idea that Forsberg and Johansson would go and they would, it just makes no sense to me. And Sammy says Maurice Leakinson, the starter's crease, nothing confirmed yet. Yeah. But it's just, I'm going to bet against it to continue. Is what I'm going to do. And I'm on Pittsburgh -1. I got +130, and I think it's a great spot.
And Pittsburgh has, I mean, are they a team that has marquee name players, but is really not nearly as good as people are thinking, or do they have the horses? What?
They're an old team. They were playing without Petrie and Jan Ruda. Ruda has come back. Those are important pieces for the back end. But we're talking about Letang and Malkin and Crosby. I mean, they're old. They're old. They're an old hockey team. You got Jeff Carter out there. Gensel's not having the season that we've seen from him the last couple of years. Zucker is not the offensive player that we remember. Raquel's been okay. So they're just an old squad. But
you know what I'm going to do, Jim? You can make my play. Penn's first period money line -118. Current line at Pinnacle. Penn's first period money line -118. If they don't start out hot, then it's probably dead in the water.
Well, I don't know that makes me nervous. The line makes me nervous. It's just 118. That first make me nervous. Secondly, look, the Pens were losing to the Lightning 2-1.
And then they came back, yeah.
So I don't know. We have a huge advantage with the player personnel. So I don't know why we'd want to cut it down to 20 minutes instead of having the full 60 minutes to beat the opposition in a must-win game for the Pens.
I hear you, Jim.
But you're getting a nice price, -118. So Loshak locking in Pens first period money line. I'm on the Pens for -1 at +130. You are not making the Pens a full game official pick here.
Gosh, but they do have the horses to get it done over a full game, right? Even though they're getting old, as you say.
This is must-win time. You're not sellers when you have Sidney Crosby on your team.
We'll move on quickly, but what would you think about Penn's team total over 3.5 at a plus money line?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it. I think they're going to score goals. Let's just see what I would get on the team total. I mean, I'm pretty safe in those spots.
Yeah.
I kind of prefer the 3, but
for now, I'm just going to stick with the first period. Maybe at the very end of the show, I will add something officially.
The 3 at my book would be -130, -139. There's BT in the house. Tell me you didn't just say that. Steve G, Alec, Deacon Mike. Let's roll on. Jojo Rich in the house. Bleds W. Let's roll on Kraken Blues.
Okay, this is another tough one. Seattle got blown out by Toronto in their last game at home. 3 straight losses, right? They're not winning right now. St. Louis losing even more, though, right? They've lost, I think, 5 in a row, trending under, just not able to score at all last 5 games. They were a big dog, though, in all those games. And, it's coincided with St. Louis trading away Ryan O'Reilly and the other guy. His name skips my mind for a second. But they traded away their 2 big guys. And since then, they can't score, lost 5 in a row, games going under. And the question is Seattle more likely to turn it around here or St. Louis? What do you think, Jim?
I think that the Blues are going to give us value at home. I do. I really do for the end of the season. Now, their top players and Kyrou and Thomas have been called out by the coaching staff, by the management. They've been completely called out. They're not the right players to build your team around. But, you have Parayko and Krug healthy. This isn't going to be when you have Parayko and Krug on your team, it's not like it's going to be a long rebuild. I mean, you could pick up some free agents and be ready to rock next year. So this line opened up with Seattle -150, now -148. There's no way I want Seattle here. This total opened up at 6 -113 to the overtime, -116 to the over. I'm very interested in the Kraken because on our next Sunday night live, and thank you guys for joining us on our debut episode on Sunday, but our next one is Celtics Knicks at 7:30 and then Kraken Avalanche at 9 p.m. So I'm keeping a close eye on both squads right now. But Binnington's playing better. He's sort of in the Gibson-type season. Seattle 3-6-1 over the past 10, 18.5% power play, 76.2% penalty killing. St. Louis 3-5-2, 12.5% power play, 82.8% penalty killing. I can't wait, Razor. I got hit the boost stop myself. Kraken coming up for third straight loss, 5-1 at home to the Leafs on Sunday. They're an angry group. I guess that's what's going to keep me off of this. But the Blues coming off their fifth straight loss, 3-2 in overtime at home to the Penguins on Saturday night. They're as healthy as they've been in a long time. Jake Neighbors out of the lineup. I guess I stay off here. But I did have quite a bit of interest in the Blues first period. I'm going to take it off though. I'm not involved in this one.
Me neither. All right, you want to move on, Jim?
Yeah, and shout out to Bobby Boucher, play of the day, Mavs. Sorry, first quarter -2.5. I will copy and paste that, and we will discuss it when we break down NBA with Trot Wam, who's in the chat right now. Our guy Wham Bam. But yes, let's set the table for the next game.
LA Winnipeg. This one may be the most interesting game on the card. Not one I want to bet at all. Very interested to see though if anyone has any opinions on this one way or the other, because you got LA, who is in general a good team, but it seems like this current East Coast trip that they're on is just not agreeing with them, right? They were winning before the trip. Now they came east, and they've lost 3 of 4 so far on this trip and just not getting it done. Winnipeg, on the other hand, also not getting it done, lost 5 of their last 6, and their last game was a shutout loss at home against the Islanders in a revenge spot. And I think I had Winnipeg in that one and had to take an L with that one. But you were talking about it, Jimmy the Bag. The Islanders just don't really score a lot of goals. Well, they got 4 against Winnipeg in a spot where Winnipeg was presumably in a revenge spot, having just lost to the Islanders a few days ago. So something's wrong with Winnipeg. Something's wrong with LA, at least currently on this trip, it appears. And so is either of these teams likely to bounce back? I have no idea. What do you think, Jim?
It's a very tough game that I could see sort of going either way. I really don't trust either of these squads right now. Line history-wise, Jets open up -133. They're now -136. This total opened up at 6 as a pick'em, and there's been a big move to the under. And they're showing 5.5s now. But the 6 got up to -116, and then they're showing 5.5s. I could understand not trusting the Jets to score goals. Copley, Hellebuck, I have listed. Stimmy OG says that he is big on the under 6 and also on the Jets. Billy Fraser said Jets are 0-3-7 last 10 at home in the first period. 4-6-2 over the past 10. 13.2% power play. Also over those 10 games, 90% penalty killing. The Kings still have that 35.7% power play, but you can say, look at the Jets penalty killing. They're able to, slow that down. Kings coming off their third loss in 4 games, 5-2 at the Rangers on Sunday. Jets coming on their third straight loss, 4-0 home to the Islanders on Sunday. The Jets have scored 2 goals over their last 3 games. Pierre-Luc Dubois today with a lower body injury. He's a game-time decision for tonight, and he's been excellent this year in a contract year. I don't trust his character, but he's another guy who's in a contract year knows that my financial future is on the line, and look how good I am, and let's see if you can count on him next year. Hopefully, he's playing shitty in a Habs jersey. But if he's not able to play, Blake Wheeler will move to center, or Lowry will move up to the top 6. And we got looks from Clint for UFC 285 as well. UFC 285. Yes, Fat Wally, I can't wait. Can't wait to hang out with you on Saturday. I guess I agree with the under. Markets move quickly towards that. The trade deadline is on, I believe, Friday at noon, I want to say. I believe it's Friday at noon, I think. But remember, in the NHL, a lot of trades get made before the deadline. The deadline doesn't end up being so exciting the actual day of. And we've had a lot of movement already, so I don't expect too many major things. Except we're all waiting for Kane to be a Ranger. Take it away. Is there anything you want on this? I guess I think I missed the spot on the under 6. I don't know, Pete.
Yeah, total pass for me.
It's certainly a tough one. Under 6 at -105. Wow, that's not too bad.
Especially since both these teams are actually season-wide in good playoff position. You know what I mean? So it's a weird game.
Why would Bet365 be so off of the other books? Huh. They've just had a 10-cent move to the over 6. That's completely opposite of what Pinnacle's doing. Under 6 at -105, I mean, that's pretty appealing. I'm concerned about the Kings, though. They just play high-scoring hockey, and their penalty killing is weak, and their power play is very good. If we can hope that the Winnipeg Jets can neutralize them, I guess I am interested in the under 6. That's a pretty nice price over at 365. So I have some interest there. Let's roll on. Next up, Blackhawks.
Yeah. Another tough one that I just, similar to some of the other games, Chicago, they're on a back-to-back, their roster in upheaval because of the trade deadline. But then on the other side, Arizona off 2 home blowout losses as a big dog. They had won a bunch of games before that. and a couple of those ones were as a huge dog. So Arizona, has some life to them apparently, but should they really be this big of a favorite over any other NHL team? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they should be. I don't know. But that's the setup. That's what the game entails. Maybe you have some opinion on it. But I mean, they've just been trading so many guys. Chicago. I can't make heads or tails of this. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, you just Arizona shouldn't be this big of a favorite against anybody. Opening up minus 175, now minus 179. I mean, it's just nuts.
But if they were going to be this big of a fave over anyone, it might be against Chicago in this position.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Chicago power play is still 12.9% right now, and now Kane is at home for a period of reflection, is what they've called it. Brisson, I love his agent, Brisson. Arizona 4-2-4 over their past 10, but they've looked bad of late. This to me just feels sort of like an AHL hockey game. They say that Stalock is going to be in between the pipes for the Blackhawks. He's been pretty good this year.
Yes.
So this game I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to bet it. I don't really want to talk about it. So
Stalock confirmed. Actually, what about under or first period under, Jim?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
All right, we can move on.
It's just a bum fight, and it's not a bum fight I want to watch.
Okay, want to move on, Jim?
Yeah, shout out to Millsy. Millsy wants to jump on Friday to give some best bets for UFC 285. I think we can make that happen, Millsy. I expect that we can make that happen. Just got to shut down some of set some of the longer breakdowns that me and Boban will get into. But take it away. Let's move on to the next spot. Fascinating game.
Yes, huge shout out, Not Flush Allen. Next game, Boston Calgary. Now, early in the show, Sean Sullivan, I don't know if he's still in the comment section right now. Sean Sullivan said, Flames today, love it, plus 112. Love it, plus 112. Going up against Boston. Boston, of course, just a phenomenal team, unreal. Although some of the advanced metrics that I've looked at have Carolina as rated significantly better than Boston. But no question, Boston out of the gate this year, one of the elite teams. And as of last game, maintaining that eliteness. They're on a back-to-back. Won at Edmonton yesterday. They've now won 7 in a row, under trending teams, so holding teams down. They've been going under for the past 15 games or so. And Calgary returning from a 3-game trip, not really winning, going over, kind of giving up goals in general. And I guess I'd be leaning Calgary. That was my first thought, just because the line seems suspiciously low. But is plus 111 good enough for Sean Sullivan? Definitely. He loved it at plus 112. Question is just, can Calgary clamp on D? Because over their past 15 games or so, the answer to that is no. Here they are facing the top team in the league on a back-to-back. Yes. I don't know. What do you think? Is Calgary a great bet here, Jim?
If I had a free play, I'd be on them.
Mm-hmm.
But Boston is so good.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that they would have won 8 of their past 10 while having a power play of 8.8% is unbelievable. It just shows the type of quality hockey team they are. And I just, the second half back-to-back after their 7th straight win last night, 3-2 at Edmonton. Taylor Hall likely be out of the lineup. He's dealing with lower body injury. Flames coming off their 2nd straight loss in 3rd in 4 games, 4-1 at Colorado on Saturday. Markstrom absent from practice yesterday, so he's waiting for the birth of their first child, and they got the baby boy was born at some point yesterday, so he maybe is available to play. He's been awful this year. I don't want to fade Boston ever.
Right, exactly, Jim.
So, if I'm going to fade them, I'd probably prefer to have a little bit bigger of a line. Certainly, the Flames' season's almost over. I mean, they have to win today. But that's not started them. That's not turned it around for them. They haven't started winning. So I certainly like the Flames in this spot, but I don't trust this hockey team. So I'd love that Sean Sullivan really likes the Flames here, and I just don't want to bet against the Bruins on the second half of back in the terrible situation, in the worst situation imaginable. I don't want to bet against the Bruins. So.
This is the kind of game where shot props can have some good value. And tell me you didn't just say that, like Tyler Toffoli over 2.5 shots on goal. Stimmy OG likes the Bruins, money line and puck line. Wow,
Imp, if you can catch that Flames no playoffs at plus 300 off. Ooh, I'll be cheering for you, man. That's I'd love you to catch that, man.
And Nutflush Allen says again, Boston only plays are live after down a goal at plus money. Shout out to Nutflush Allen. Nutflush, check the results of those 4 halftime plays I texted you a few days ago. Just check them, Nutflush. Take a couple of seconds. All right, let's see. All right, so I guess we're going to pass, right, Jim?
We are going to pass. And shout out to Wally. He did give us the winner in NASCAR last week, our guy Wally. And Wally's nephew, Chaz, is a huge NASCAR capper. And so I think we'll get really great insights from Wally as we move forward. Shout out to Wally and to your nephew, Chaz. All right, let's move on to the final game here and then get into NBA.
That's all right. Yeah, shout out. Huge shout. We're keeping a brisk pace, but if we weren't keeping a brisk pace, I would take a minute and a half and give huge fucking shout outs to everyone in the comments section. We are reading your comments. We're just trying to move it on, so we can't address all of them out loud. Montreal, San Jose, last game on the card for NHL, and again, another game where the trade deadline has caused roster upheaval for both of these teams. San Jose bigger, right? They traded off Timo Meier. They traded just a bunch of people, and Montreal has sent some people away too. San Jose is a big favorite, and Montreal was actually doing pretty well as a big dog over the past couple weeks or so, winning about half their games, often as a big dog. And here they are, a big dog again against another team that's having that's not an elite team, that's a seller at the trade deadline. San Jose lost their last game in OT. As a big favorite against Chicago. San Jose just not winning. So I don't know. I definitely didn't pull the trigger until before hearing what you guys had to say about it. But I don't know. Is this a coin flip game? And maybe Montreal as a dog has some value. What do you think, Jim?
It's just trash. Sharks open minus 144. They're now minus 160. Totals wise opens up at 6.5. Heavily juiced to the under. It's become a pick 'em now at 6.5. I find it quite difficult to figure out this Habs team, completely decimated from injuries, is going to do. And San Jose Sharks are a team that at home have been the best fade in the business. So it's just it's tricky here. Jake Allen, I've listed 13, 18, and 2, 3.42 goals against average, 895 save percentage, one shot. He's been a little better of late. Kaapo Kakkonen, we expect to be in between the pipes for the Sharks. 8, 12, and 5, 3.57 goals against average, 885 save percentage, one shutout. Montreal, 25.9% power play still, even though that they're and they've got nice pieces, with Suzuki and Josh Anderson, great power play pieces. 75% penalty killing. San Jose's power play down to 12.5%. They trade Timo Meier to the Devils. Montreal had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in a 5-2 loss at home to the Senators on Saturday. And then you talked about the Shark spot. I don't. Lee Davis has Habs highest edge of the day for me. Yeah, I agree. But I just don't want to back them. I just would prefer not to. This is just awful stuff. If you want to take a shot, though, it's just that on this card, there's some spots that I'm in love with. And so that's why when I get to these points, I don't really feel
right.
I don't mean to be short on these games, but do I want to sit here and kind of make an educated guess on two of the worst hockey teams in the league where the volatility is skyrocketing? I guess with volatility skyrocketing, you'd want the dog or you want to turn the Sharks into a minus 1.5 or something. But even then, Sharks at minus 1.5, what are you going to get? A plus 160? At a minus 1, you're going to get even money. And it just does not appeal to me. And I don't like this hockey game. It
does feel like if you took, all these crazy game dogs, that you'd probably win 40% of them and wind up making a few units. Chicago, the Islanders, the Kings, all this, including here, Montreal. People in the comment section liking Montreal, though, and that's very understandable, right, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, look at the Sharks at home. How much money have we made off fading them at home? 6, 15, and 8 at home. So
we're gonna pass.
Yeah, fucking pass. So let's review all action in NHL. We are all over the Red Wings Senators game. The fact that Pete's hammering it the way he is going to give me confidence to double up. I haven't bet it yet. Pete's on Detroit first period plus 109. Detroit team total over 2.5 minus 160, and the Wings minus 1 plus 203. Love to hear what Turns he has to say about his Wings. I'm going to be on Detroit first period, Detroit full game. Ron Crawford's giving us spreadsheet play today. NHL is the Lightning in regulation, and we're all over that. So we also are all over this spot here. And it's my favorite game on the board, and I expect to make money off of it today. We have I'm on, and I've made all these bets already. I'm on the Lightning minus 1 and minus 108, on the Tampa Bay, Florida under 7 at -125, and the Panthers team total under 3 at -112. Pete's on the Lightning -1, Panthers team total under 3.5. And big shout out to our Ron Crawford, who's given us the Lightning in regulation. Looks like Merzlikins is going to be in net, and I'm going to stay off this Jacket side. It's too bad because I think the Sabres are somewhat vulnerable. I'm going to be watching them very closely without Dahlin and without Tuck. I mean, this is a huge blow. I mean, these are two very, very important players. So then Loshak's on New York, Minnesota under 5.5 -138. I've now realized that maybe -140 is, if you're that confident in a total, it should be bet. I mean, I don't want to leave money on the table. And Sammy Comer saying LaMelo now out for the season. So I think I'm going to join you on that. Loshak's on Penn's first period money line. I'm on Penn's -1. And I've had trouble fading Nashville. So I'm nervous. And Nashville's scoring out like crazy last 5 games. Seattle, St. Louis, we stayed off. I'm surprised Bet365 is giving me such an incredible line on this under in the Kings-Jets game. And may force me to pull the trigger. And then Blackhawks, Coyotes, no action. You Capper Sports in the house, what up? And Bruins, Flames, we stayed off. And Habs, Sharks, we stayed off. And that.
You know what, Jim? Let's have a little fun. You can add on Montreal -1 plus 256 for me. That's current line at Pinnacle. Montreal -1 plus 256. I think they can win this game. And that's a big score if they do. -1 plus 256. We can take that. Add that on.
Oh, wow. Merzlikins was limited physically in the morning skate. Oh, I want Korpisalo. So, wow. Interesting. And Real Deal Prime's proud of you in that look. All right, let's get into NBA. I had the honor of spending Sunday night capping with our next guest, and we did very well. I lost on the third quarter move on the Raptors, but cashed the unders under 221.5. I cashed the under 225.5 at +105. And I was so confident in that spot. And it was so much fun hanging out with him, man. We got Compton in the house. And if you want to hang out with our man, you come down to San Antonio, where you'll hang out with all 3 of us. He's going to be rocking in San Antonio. He's coming down with DJ Big Boss. Oh, man, I can't wait to hang. Please welcome, without further ado, Trot Wam to the show. Wham Bam, how are you?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm happy to hear that Pete's going to be there. You're going to be there. It's going
to be so much fun.
So much fun. So much great conversation. Shout out to that we're going to have. So many great conversations. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be here once again with you. Shout out to the chat. My man, Ronald, you Capper, Marquell, my boy, Clint. Clint, what's happening with you, King? Shout out to the legends in the chat. The chat's got legends in there. But this is the legendary episode. My man got his glasses on. Man, come on now.
Oh, we're ready.
Can't go without it. Come on now. Let's get it. Let's get to it today, bro.
All right. Let's get to work. So I will set a quick table, hand it over to Pistol Pete Loshak, and then Pete will hand it over to you, Wham Bam. And I've made no bets thus far in NBA. Let's get to work. We start 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Washington Wizards 28-32, 14-19 on the road at the Atlanta Hawks, 31-30, 17-12 at home, State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Washington 2-3 over their past 5, playing at a slow pace, 96.40 possessions a game. Atlanta 3-2, playing at a pace of 104.60 possessions a game. The Washington to make the playoffs future has been one I've been staring at. Staring. It was plus 310 on the Friday of the All-Star break. It got down to minus 185 before, without any games being played. Got down to minus 185 or plus 185, during the All-Star break. So a lot of people moving on. And I was like, well, are they going to lose to the Knicks? Because if they lose to the Knicks, man, I'm going to get a nice price. But then they lose to the Bulls too. And all of a sudden they're plus 320. And now it's a number I'd like. But are they going to lose here again to the Hawks in their first game with Quinn Snyder coaching? So, and then if it's at plus 400 or 380, so I've yet to move on it, but I have great interest in it. Let's talk about the line movement here. Atlanta opening up at -7 at minus 105. That's exactly where they are. 7 at minus 104. They did drop to 6.5 at a couple different moments. Totals wise, it's opened up at 234, minus 106 to the under. It's now minus 109 to the under, so a 3-cent move to the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have 4,993 tickets in, and the big bets are coming in on Atlanta. 54% of the tickets, 81% of the cash. Market not really moving towards them, but big bets coming in on them. 47% of tickets, 61% cash on the under. Wizards coming off their second straight loss, 102-82 at the Bulls on Sunday. No Kristaps Porzingis with knee soreness, and no Monte Morris. He was a late scratch with lower back soreness. So I guess, can we expect Monte Morris to be in and KP to be out? I'm not entirely sure. The Hawks coming off their second straight win since the firing of Nate McMillan, 129-127, home over Brooklyn on Sunday. And this is their first game with Quinn Snyder and his haunting eyes behind the back. Take it away for us, Pistol Pete Loshak. Wizards, Hawks.
I don't have anything on most of these games. This one, I was thinking maybe under. When I looked at it, it was 234. Might be a strong play because Washington, of course, has been an undertrending team. Atlanta, when the coach is first fired, they went over, and now Quinn Snyder, it's his first game, so this is probably going to be a bit of a higher effort game. We know that high effort often translates into low, more defense and lower scoring. I was thinking under has got to be the play. I'll probably make it official, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Yeah, man. For me, I'm on DeJounte Murray over 1.5 3-point makes -130. You're getting -135, 137. At Bovada is what I'm seeing here, but I like this look a lot. We did cash it last time. It was one of those solely bets that I won when they last played. Over the last 7 games, this hit 70%, 5 out of the last 7 games. They're ranked 22nd at points in that position and 22nd at defending the 3 for guards as far as the Washington Wizards. So DeJounte Murray over 1.5 threes. That's going to be the first official bet for me in this game. As far as what you guys are talking about, though, bro, like the coach being fired angle has been pretty good, man. It has been pretty good. The first game since the coach, I mean, that has been good too. I mean, first person I'm thinking is Jacques Vaughn, and then they went on a crazy good streak there. I'm trying to think of someone else. If you guys have it in the back of your head, that would be perfect. But I think that Quinn Snyder is probably he got a good team. Let's start off there. Like you're getting into a situation that you got a good team. If they start making down their shots, then they're the team that we thought they should have been. The problem with them is them in offense, perimeter play. I expect that this team to possibly play a little bit better. This team is pretty much. I love the fact that you broke down the playoff odds for the Washington Wizards. The East is very top heavy, of course. We all know that. But as far as like this team, they are a good team too. You know what I mean? As far as the Washington Wizards, as far as construction wise, they are constructed really well. So they can pull it off there. Not having KP out there is going to hurt, though. So him being doubtful is definitely going to hurt. But I agree with you, though. I'm a little bit more sort of thinking that Monte is going to play in this game.
He was just ruled out. Our man T Nice
just ruled out.
T Nice let us know that Morris was ruled out an hour ago.
Okay. Well, good.
Shout out to T Nice. Thank you for
shout out to T Nice. We appreciate y'all. And there's a lot of information coming out right now. Shams and Woj just dropping right now. But I don't want anything to do with this side. And the reason why is because I kind of want to respect the Hawks and what they have been searching since the coaching change. I kind of would expect them to win. But again, this is the Hawks still, you know what I mean? They're not that far off from a team. And laying a 6.5, I kind of want to go Wizards just based off the number here. So this is the reason why I'm off the side here. But DeJounte Murray over 1.5 threes is what we're going to be officially looking at in this game.
Bobby Butcher has a thank me later comment. Thank me later. Hawks first quarter.
Yeah, I like that look. The problem is the Wizards have looked so bad for 2 games that the only I wish that wasn't the case, but I certainly wouldn't bet against it. I also like your look on the under. There's got to be more defensive intensity from the Hawks, and the Wizards are playing at such a slow pace. So if we can get some defensive intensity, I like that idea on the under as well. That's at 230. Let me just make sure I get that at 234.5. Yeah. Oh, it's down to 234. Damn. Okay. I like that. I like that quite a bit. I would like to get in on the Hawks. The Wizards have surprised me a little bit coming out of the break, and I was watching them really closely. They've been awful.
Right.
What is it, Wham, that makes you kind of lean towards taking them at the number?
So that's just because, the Hawks, should they ever be favored by this much? I know they are at the house. They play better at the house. But should they ever be this much favored within any team that's kind of on their same level. As much as the Wizards have been slumping and losing to those terrible teams that you just mentioned, losing to Chicago, which is playing great defense lately, the Knicks, who's also playing good defense. Do I expect that the Hawks have had that same defense? Nah, I don't. So that's why I think they can find themselves inside this number. It's a pretty big number. I think the Hawks are gonna win because new coach alone, they might get a little bit of help from the rest just based off of it being a new coach. They want it to be a little bit better situation, on a conspiracy side of things. But for the most part, I don't think that I should trust the Hawks at this number. It's just something I don't think I should do unless this is a totally different Hawks team within the next few weeks based off of the acquired coach there. So I got to wait to see that first before I go ahead and take a big number with the Hawks. And on the other flip side there, I kind of think that Kuzma, should be able to go off there as far as like matchup wise. And obviously I like Bradley Beal and I like some of the shooters that they have as well. Kisper, Davia, Danny Avia, those guys. So that's kind of the reason why I think they could get inside the number. But for the most part, it's going to be a no play for me.
I feel like the Hawks are going to smash and grab here. I think it'll be similar to that first game after the McMillan trade.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the Wizards would do anything different than what they've been doing with that, because there's going to be no KP, there's going to be no Monte Morris. I don't know why anything really would change. I know it's a big number, but God, how much do I want to have invested in this stupid game? I think that the Hawks smash and grab. You have your first opportunity to impress the coach, and the defensive intensity is going to be heightened, and the Wizards they're going to turn it around at State Farm. So Tyrone Clark also saying Atlanta first quarter best play. God, I do not want to have too much invested in this game, but I'm leaning towards. I think I move on the under. Do I want to double up on first half and full game is the question I've got to answer. But Pete, if you had a free $500 bet right now on the side at 7, who is it? Wizards, Hawks?
I would take the Hawks, I guess. But I'll make, my NBA bet size is even tinier than my normal bet size. We all know that. I'll make 2 plays official, though. I just bet them both using Pinnacle lines. The under 234 at -109 at Pinnacle, and the Wizards team total under 113.5 -106. Both of those at Pinnacle. Official.
Wizards team total under, what was that?
-106 at Pinnacle.
113. I love those bets. Okay, we got to move on because we got a huge card. But T Nice has a question, and we'll see if our man Wham Bam can answer it. What do you think about Capella's rebounds right now? If you wanted it right this second here at Bet365, Capella's rebounds would be sitting at. Sorry, let me pull it up. Here we go. Capella's rebounds 9.5, heavily juiced to the over.
As it should be, 71% hitting at the over so far this season at that number. It's not like this team is it's not like they're going to be a crazy discrepancy. They're kind of in the middle of the pack as far as guarding the center position on rebounds, ranked 14th. It's a lot of juice, though. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of juice, but who's going to stop him from who's going to stop that? John Collins. John Collins could possibly do it, but I don't know. I like who could stop them from getting a 10. I don't think that you should have any worry there. So if I had a free play, I would definitely look into consider Capella on that spot. So shout out to him, man. I hope you cash, bro.
And a great comment from North Ender saying Wizards first quarters go over heavy. Take the live under after the first quarter if you really want the under. Shout out to North Ender.
Right.
It's interesting. Coming off 82 points at the Bulls on Sunday. I like the action on this game. I'd like to have something within what all of you guys are doing. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for us. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Bucks 43-17, 17-12 on the road at Brooklyn Nets 34-26, 18-11 at home. Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. Milwaukee 5-0 over their past 5. They've won 14 straight. 99.53 possessions a game over their past 5. Brooklyn 1-4, playing the pace of 94.80 possessions a game. Sammy says, feel good about my Rangers plus 22-1 in his pocket. I only got 18-1, but I'm excited as well, Sammy. But the Devils are not going to be easy in that first round, man. I think that could go 7. God, it's going to be a fun series. Okay, let's get back to the cash flow and the line history here for this one. Here we go. So I'll move this over here. Bucks, Nets. We have this opening up here with Brooklyn plus 5.5. Now they are plus 6.5. So a 1-point move towards the Bucks on the road. Totals wise, it's opened up at 228.5 and it's now up to 231. We go over to the cash flow on this one. 11,795 tickets in. 20% of the tickets and 40% of the cash is on Brooklyn. And they've been given some line value here. 66% of tickets and 88% of the cash on the over, and the market has moved to the over. And Bucks coming off their 4th straight win, 104-101 at home over the Suns on Sunday. They're now 7-5 when Antetokounmpo sits. He's played 15 minutes over his last 2 games. Held out on Sunday. Drew went for 33. He looked awesome in that game. He's a finisher. He's a closer. He's a great basketball player. And Brooklyn bounced back from that ugly 131-87 loss at Chicago by losing 129-127 at Atlanta on Sunday. They played good. Cameron Johnson went for 27. Bridges added 24. Take it away, Pistol Pete, Loshak. Any interest here for you in Bucks Nets?
Is Giannis in or out? How much will he play? I was thinking under. I did bet this one a little bit on the opening, on the first line that I saw, which was 232.5. I took the under. I see it's now down to 231. Who knows where it'll close? But I took the first half under at 113.5 and the full game under at 232. I think I got, and still leaning that way. The Nets are just trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and I took the under.
Interesting. What do you think here, Wham Bam? Take it away.
Yeah, I kind of like the under too. I think the defense is going to continue to be there for the Nets. They got a lot of good acquisitions. The kind of offense has been falling a little bit flat over the last few games. So I think that may be something that we got to keep an eye out on if we're going to be fading them and just taking unders with the Nets. I think Giannis does come back. I think he does play a little bit. They haven't really. I mean, they're trying to show us that they don't really need Giannis to be a good enough team to beat teams on a day in and day out. I think they are going to be playing at that high level that they have been as far as the bench wise. And Drew Holiday's been playing out of his mind. Not really that so much for Middleton, but Middleton is going to eventually come around sooner or later. I think Giannis does play today. And that being said, I want to just hop in on the first half. This is something I haven't locked in officially, but I'm very close of putting this in. Like as far as like I have it queued up in my bet online slip right now, minus 105, minus 110, minus 3.5. It's kind of where I want to go in this game here. I just think that the Bucks early has been showing us that they are pretty good. I think over the last 5 on the road, they're 4-1 ATS. And then if you're looking at over the last same thing for last 5 games, period, not just over the road. So I think that this team is primed to continue to come out early. One of my favorite bets when I first started doing this on the shows was Bucks first half. I think we got to go right back to the well here with them coming out early here. I like Bless W saying he liked the first quarter. I like the first quarter too. I just think that taking the first half is probably a little bit more of a safer bet because I think the discrepancy on the bench for the Bucks compared to the Nets is going to be shown for sure. So give me the first half. You can lock that in as official play for me, minus 3.5.
You got it, minus 3.5 at minus 110. This game makes me a little uncomfortable. Pete, is there anything you're making official here?
Yeah, you can make. I don't even remember why I like the under, but it's moved in my favor. I'll use the Heritage line right now, under 231 minus 108. That's Bucks, under 231 minus 108.
You got it locked in for Loshak. I have not moved on this one. So let's keep rolling. Next up, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bulls 28-33, 10-20 on the road at Toronto Raptors, 30-32, 19-13 at home. We're at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Chicago 2-3 over their past 5, playing at the pace of 96 possessions a game. Toronto 4-1, playing at the pace of 98.70 possessions a game. I wonder, is Van Fleet going to be back now? So he's missed 3 games due to the birth of his child. We're all waiting for him to come back. I'd be back. But I don't know why he's not when we need him. Raptors opening up -5, -105. They're now -5, -101. But it's interesting. It did go down to 4.5, but it's back up at 5. Bulls are playing good ball right now. Totals wise, opened up at 220. Excuse me. That's weird. I It's saying that the over will open up at 220. It was under 219. There's a mistake here, obviously, but it's at 219 and a half right now. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. 10,266 tickets in. They've given line value to the Toronto Raptors here, but all of the bets are coming in on the Bulls. You have 62% of the tickets on the Bulls, so they're a public dog. And then you have 86% of the cash, so the bigger bets are on them as well. 68% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the under. I wonder if it's just a bias over how good the Bulls have looked in their first two games, or last two games. Bulls coming off their second straight win, 102-82 at home over the Wizards on Sunday. DeRozan went for 29, Levine went for 27, and Pat Bev, 5 boards, 1 block shot, and no points. Just a perfect stat line for Pat Bev. Raptors had their 4-game winning streak snapped, an ugly 118-93 loss at Cleveland without Van Fleet. Siakam went for 25. Podol had 13 and 9. Scotty Barnes had 12. We watched the game. It was very difficult to find heart from this basketball team playing the second half of a back-to-back, although the first game was in the afternoon. Feels like a bounce-back spot. Troy Torrance says this is a Raptor spot. Home team wins and covers in this series. Take it away for us here, Pistol Pete. Anything interest you at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario?
The comment section is really friggin' interesting me. Rayhan Hyder says Bulls +5 all day. Since the breaks, Bulls play lockdown defense, but then you got North Ender, kind of like Raps first quarter. And look at this, Mike M, Toronto first quarter 7-0 at home. Wow. I'm thinking maybe pulling the trigger on Toronto first quarter. It does feel like a Toronto spot. Troy Torrance says what you said. Yeah, I mean the big deal is Van Fleet and how will he do if he's in. Got to be thinking Toronto. And now with Mike M's comment and Rayhan Hyder's comments combined, thinking Toronto first quarter. Don't necessarily want him full game, but first quarter.
I find that very appealing now listening to you guys, but it certainly wasn't on my radar coming into the cap. What do you think, Wham Bam?
Very, very, very interesting game here. Both of these teams has played so far. They played twice. I'm sorry. They played twice, split the series so far this season. The favorite in this head-to-head meeting has won and covered 10 consecutive times.
Wow.
That is crazy, especially seeing that the way the line history it is. There were 2-point favorites for Chicago in the November. They had a back-to-back, it looks like. It was a back-to-back they had. That was pretty strange. So they had a back-to-back to start the year. On the 6th and the 7th, where they played in Toronto first, where the Toronto was 4-point favorites. Obviously, Toronto won and covered that one. Then they went straight to Chicago after that. Chicago was 2-point favorites, and they won and covered there pretty convincingly. Both times they both went under the total. Total is kind of where it was at right now. The thing is that interests me, and as far as like the recent form, is that the Bulls are playing really good defense. They're playing really good defense as of right now. And then if you're looking at the Toronto Raptors, you guys talked about it. Van Fleet is kind of their offense. His last 2 times he was playing, he had 15 assists the last game. The game prior, he had 35 fucking points. They needed every bit of those 35 points because they only won by 1 point. So his offense is going to go as far as this Raptors team. It's so tricky though because, like you mentioned, Pete, it's kind of I can see this game going back and forth throughout the game. One thing I do want to say here as well is that the Raptors at the house, they're 1-4 ATS in the first half. The last 10 first halves for the Bulls, they have covered 7 of those last 10 first halves when they're on the road. So it's a tricky game. I feel like you could make a case for either one of these teams here, but if I had to, have to have some action here, I'm going to go Bulls first half. I think Bulls first half is probably the play. Maybe Toronto figures it out throughout the end of the game here, but it's a tricky game. I have no action here on this game, but this game, I think that the favor is going to win. It's already kind of shown it. 10 consecutive times win and cover. I'm not trying to jump in front of the Bulls. They're 5-point favorites. I think they're 5-point favorites for a reason here. So I'm not going to go against what the line setters are thinking here. I just think that maybe you may be undervaluing the Knicks early. I'm sorry, the Bulls early. Taking the Bulls first half is my lean here, but nothing official.
I guess the Raptors first quarter has become more and more appealing
Yeah, Jim, actually, looking at the spot, I'll make that official. Raps first quarter, but I'm going to take the -1 line. Raps first quarter, -1, -121. Current line at Pinnacle. Raps first quarter, -1, -121. You can make that official. And I did bet it with my NBA bet size, not my normal bet size.
Yeah, I like that. I like that turning into -1. I can't. They're not giving me that opportunity here, but I like that you've done that. The Raps first quarter. I just feel like situationally, the Raptors come off being embarrassed. They get their leader back. The Bulls come off of back-to-back dominance. Head up north. Feels like situationally it should be a spot for the Raptors first quarter. All right, and Res Mob says Bulls first quarter has been a bet on spot, but he's off. Our guy Res Mob in the house. And Bobby Boucher says, do it, Jimmy. Let's ride. I'd like to. And I expect to. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Lakers 29-32, 14-18 on the road at the Memphis Grizzlies, 36-23, 25-5 at home at FedEx Forum. Memphis, Tennessee. Lakers 4-1 over the past 5. Playing at a pace of 103.10 possessions a game. Memphis 3-2, playing at a pace of 100.30 possessions a game. Yeah, Slow Jams are Snow. The only spots I booze now in life are on the live streams. That's the deal I've made here at the spot. So I don't know if I'll keep it going, but for now, let's take a look at the situation here. The Grizz open up -8, now -8.5. Wildly now with limits. This was a much shorter line when it opened at other books with limits. Bet Online opened this yesterday at 12:41 p.m. with Memphis -4.5. So Memphis is now -9 over at Bet Online. So there's some concern there. Totals wise opened up at 238. 238. It's now at 230.5. I mean, that's just absolutely nuts. Bet Online very concerned with how they opened this game, and they should be. I'm surprised they opened it where they did. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 13,782 tickets in, 55% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the Grizzlies. Then you have 42% of tickets, 81% of cash on the under, and the books have dropped it very, very quickly. Billy Friedrich said Vladar now listed as likely net for the Flames, so I guess, Markstrom's still dealing with the birth of his child. And tell me you didn't just say that, got in on the under 234 yesterday. Bloods W looking at Ja, maybe points and assists over. Lakers come in off their third straight win. A very costly 111-108 victory at Dallas on Sunday night. LeBron James, 26 points. Hurt his foot, was non-contact. He said that he stepped on the foot, but they showed it over and over, non-contact. He finished the game. They got the win, and now he's out at least 2 to 3 weeks is the last story that we've read. Lakers 4-1 over the past 5, playing at a pace of 103.10 possessions a game. Memphis 3-2, playing at a pace of 100.0 or 100.30 possessions a game. Sean Pulliam in the house. What up, Sean? AD went for 30. Vanderbilt went for 15 and 17. Malik Beasley had 8. And the Lakers also announced that D'Angelo Russell is doubtful and most likely not going to be in the lineup. Grizzlies coming off their second win in 3 games, 112-94 at home over the Nuggets on Saturday. Ja, 23. Tyus went for 17 off the bench. Take it away for us here, Pete. Anything interest you in Lakers, Grizzlies?
First of all, shout out to Bobby Butcher with some more great comments about the Toronto game. Yeah, this one I was thinking, no LeBron, no D'Angelo Russell. I was thinking under and Lakers team total under. Memphis obviously off a blowout win and cover. They've been a strong under trender going back a bunch of weeks now. Their scoring was awful, as well, but they're playing better now at home. And again, I was just thinking under and Lakers team total under is what I was thinking.
What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, man. No LeBron for a few days. For a few weeks, of course. Once D'Lo comes back in, probably alleviate some of that pressure from AD, but AD, you have all the pressure now, my boy. You have all the pressure. You have to get the glass out your toe. Got to get the glass out your knee. Got to get the glass out your back, and just go out there and hold it down. No Steven Adams. You got to hold down the paint. Now, the paint is going to win this game today. The paint will win this game. The Lakers actually have the better paint defense out of these two teams over the last 5 games. Lakers right now ranked 3rd in allowing 41.6 points in the paint. Memphis Grizzlies, they kind of been giving it up as of late. As far as let me double check. I just had that looked up. My apologies, guys. They have been getting up just a little bit slightly bet, 43%. So not that much, but they're very close at that regard. The obvious reasons is going to be low LeBron, so you're going to miss out on points. But I think the defense gets a little bit better. They already been ranked third in defensive rating over the last 5 games as far as the Lakers, showing us that they have really good defensive players. And Vanderbilt, Rui has been one of those great defenders too that I didn't see coming. I didn't see Rui Hachimura to be exact. I didn't see him playing that good in defense there. So kind of think that they're going to play better defense without LeBron out there, taking plays off. It's about AD though, man. It's all about AD. Do we trust the Lakers here? Hell to the nah, bro. No way. We do not trust the Lakers, bro. We do not trust the Lakers. I think that we do trust that under though. So Loshak is keying in exactly how I'm thinking there. Think that the paint is going to be a emphasis for the Lakers. Can they get points to make it close? And then if that's the case, you're going to see the team that shoots terrible from 3 over the last few games in the Memphis Grizzlies. They're ranked 22nd in the last 5 games, shooting 33% from 3. If you can stop them from shooting 3, that's where it's going to be at. Lakers suck at shooting threes as well. They 31%. So both of these teams has been pretty bad. I kind of would expect Malik Beasley to play a little bit better. Shooting 11 threes yesterday, only getting 2. I mean, the last game, only making 2 of those. I think he's going to play a little bit better here, but it's going to be tough though, because now you have to have Dennis Schroeder be the main primary ball handler. You do have to worry about AD, not falling on the ground and taking, not hustling back down on defense. But I think the under is a good prime spot. So that's nothing I played officially, but the 230.5 is where I might have to add on additional plays. But I like this. I like this under a lot. And then as far as the side, I don't trust the Lakers here, so it's only going to be Memphis. And if that's the case, if Memphis wins, I think they're going to go over the total though. So I think it's going to be more of a close game. I just don't want to trust the Lakers based off of my fandom, my sanity, and I don't want that to have nothing to do with my bankroll tonight. So I think the under is the best bet for this game. Again, haven't locked it in officially there, but it may make my card though. I haven't really decided between the later additions that I'm going to add on.
I think that it's too late. It's just too late for the under at this point. I mean, even Bet 365 has dropped at 6 points. Let's see what we had 8-point drop at Bet Online. It's just too much. I mean, we at Pinnacle didn't open this till 6:17 in the morning, but even then you could have got 233.5. So I just think it's dropped too much at this point, personally, to move on it. Yes, I'll get J-Dub. I'll give you that. But listen to Tommy didn't just say that. It says Lakers play OKC tomorrow in what is probably the more important and winnable game. So if they get down, I can see them packing it in. Something to keep in mind live betting. I think it's a great call from Tommy didn't just say that. And cash-wise, there's Big Mastro in the house. Great to see you, man. Love it. Big Mastro in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just quickly add the cash again for J-Dub. J-Dub, it's a pretty even ticket count. You have 55% of the tickets on Memphis, but 94% of the cash, all the big bets coming in on Memphis. 42% of tickets, 81% cash on the under. I imagine that some cappers will have felt that the 8-point move or the 6-point move is too dramatic and want to go over it. We made that call in the Raptors Cavs game when that total went up 4 points, and we were like, that's too much. It's gone up too far. And that was only just 214.5 to 218.5. Here we have a 6 or 8 point line. I'm off this spot, but I was legitimately thinking Lakers early until I saw so many cappers that I respect on the Grizz in first quarter or first half or some assembly of that. And but I do think that teams do step up without their star.
Yeah.
But how long do you want to trust that for the Lakers? I don't know if I'd want to trust that for more than 12 or 24 minutes.
Yeah, great comments from the comment section. Too many to mention, but Rayhan Hyder, don't Grizz smash here after that incident last game. Jimmy the Bag, you can add on Lakers team total under 111 minus 110 from the official. If it loses, it's fine. My NBA bet size is very small. Yeah, compared to the others, maybe the Lakers cover, but it's super low scoring. Maybe it's a Grizzlies smash spot and they win by a mile and the game goes over, but the Lakers team total still goes under. And if it loses, I'm fine with it because I bet size appropriately, and I bet size extremely appropriately in the NBA.
And Porzingis listed out. That's what we had expected. Shea also in protocol, so that's not a good timing is not good for OKC. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Denver Nuggets at Houston Rockets. Sadly, we still have to talk about the Houston Rockets. Denver Nuggets 43-19, just 15-15 on the road. Rockets 13-47, 8-20 at home at Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Denver 4-1 over their past 5, playing the pace of 95.9 possessions a game. Houston 0-5, playing the pace of 99.30 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have Denver opening up -9.5. They're now -10.5. Total-wise, it's opened up at 232.5. It's dropped a half point to 232. Cash-wise here, we have 9,349 tickets in. 16% of the tickets are on Houston, but 32% of the cash. So there are some gamblers that think that that's too big of a spread here. Then you have 51% of the tickets on the over, and this is the only game where they have not given us the cash information here on that total. But both teams playing a slow pace. 95.9 for Denver, 99.3 for Houston. You guess Houston more of an average pace. Nuggets bounce back from their 112-94 loss at Memphis by defeating the Clippers at home 134-124 in overtime on Sunday. 5.5 game lead on Memphis. The Nuggets have won 5 of their past 6, 9 of 12, and Jokic 40, 17, and 10. 14 triple doubles in his past 19 games. Looking to get his 3rd straight MVP award. Impressive. MPJ 29 points, 11 boards. Jamal Murray 21 and 12 assists. Rockets coming off their 9th straight loss, 131-114 at Portland on Sunday. They've lost 9 straight games, 29 of their last 33. Pistol Pete, anything interest you here in Nuggets Rockets?
Now, a classic situation. Houston was obviously a great fade, and then the market caught up, and now they're still a teeny bit of a good fade, but not an awesome fade. Now it's close to 50-50. If I'm not going to take it, but if you gave me a free play on it, I'd throw it on Denver first half, and cash great. If it lost, no problem, because it's a free play. I'm not going to bet it, but free play would be Denver first half.
What about you, Wham Bam?
Yeah, this game is only going to be for a Denver full game alone. They have won and covered. Looks like there is about 4 consecutive times against this team, and they have won, shit ton pretty much. I think that this Rockets team, we know the tanking teams, and we know which ones aren't tanking. And this is obviously a tanking team, but the problem here is that they have been able to cover early in the first half at the house. It's just that now that they got KPJ coming back, may throw a little bit off. Alperen Sengun, I think his props may be good look today because they may be lowering it, and he still gets that same amount of usage that he was getting prior to KPJ playing in the game. So I think that could be a good look here, but nothing official here for me because I just don't want to. I don't want to watch this game at all. If I did had to, it's going to be the full game, Denver. I think that those guys are going to just pretty much win convincingly here. We seen the last time that Jokic played against Alperen Sengun. I feel like every time Jokic plays against any younger overseas player, kind of treats him like he's the daddy. You know what I mean? The first person that comes to mind is Zubac. Second person is Alperen Sengun. He did have good praise against him the last time they played, saying that they should play through him. Seems like the Rockets did play that off. I think they kind of go behind that a little bit, even though KPJ been out so long. And I expect that the usage to still be there. I think that it's going to be a little thrown off here for the Rockets. So, if anything, I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets full game.
What do you think of that team total for the Nuggets? Because if there's a concern that in the fourth quarter everybody rests and they put up 22 points, if there's a concern there, that first half at 61.5. I don't like first half team totals over 60 personally, but what do you think of that first half team total over for the Nuggets?
That's what I was thinking, Jim. Just chiming in.
Nuggets first half team total over?
Yeah.
I like that look. I like that look a lot. I mean, as far as the Rockets, they have been giving up the most amount of points in the first half, which is 65.6 in the first half, dead last in the last 5 games. So it's definitely on record. I mean, it's on pace right there for what you mentioned in there. So I think that is a good look. That's probably something I should have been looking at. You know what I'm saying? I love doing these shows with you because it's something that I wasn't looking at all. But I don't expect them to be able to stop Denver. That's the reason why I like the full game. So that probably is something I need to be looking into.
I'm interested by it. Bleds W looking at Rockets team total under. I mean, this is a spot. I mean, you think of the spots that Nut Flush Allen would be hammering, team totals against the Rockets, team totals against the Spurs. Definitely makes me interested. Mike M saying trifecta spot for our Mikey M in the house here. I'm interested that Nuggets first half over. Neither of you guys make anything official here?
No, but trifecta spot. Oh, trifecta over spot. Wow. Gosh. Okay. Yeah.
Nuggets have went over their team total for the last 5 games as well. Just to put that out there.
Tell me, didn't just say this is after that primetime win over the Clippers. I just don't see Denver being interested in this game. Might not matter though. He says, stay away though for him. Yeah, I hear you. Just book the W in the first 24 minutes and call it a day would be the way I would hope that it would be attacked. But I can understand. Troy Torrance saying this is a Rockets cover spot. I can understand people thinking that the Nuggets may not be, after that 134-124 overtime victory.
Wow, clear as day, he says. But I'm not betting it. No, I hear you.
Okay, let's move on.
Very nice. Wow.
Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern. Next up for Sacramento Kings, 35-25, 10 games over 500 for the first time since 2004, 2005 for the Sacramento Kings. Get Vlade out of there, and everything changes. Everything changes.
Yo, that's crazy.
Wild. Oklahoma City 28-32, 17-13 at home, and we now know that Shea is in protocols, in COVID protocols. God, I can't even believe it's still happening. I barely even say that word COVID anymore. But he's in protocols. Sacramento 4-1 over their past 5, playing at the pace 102.02 possessions a game. Oklahoma City 1-4, playing at the pace 100.60 possessions a game. Let's go to the line history here for this one. We have Sacramento opening up at -3, -105. That's exactly where they stand now. It did drop to 2.5 for a while, but it's right back at 3. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 237. It's dropped 2 points to 235. Cash-wise, this has gone from – we have 7,464 tickets in. Only 2 games have been bet less than this one. 21% of the tickets are on Oklahoma City and 66% of the cash. So – big bets coming in on the Thunder. It is a fishy line to me, sort of with the way the Kings are playing, and interesting that there seems to be sharp money on the Thunder. 77% of tickets, 72% cash on the over, but it's dropped 2 points. Sacramento comes in off its third straight win, 124-115 here at OKC. Is that right? I gotta double check that. It doesn't make sense there with my date there. Kings are 10 games over 500. De'Aaron Fox went for 33-8. It's a bonus 14-15-8. De'Aaron Fox is showing why they traded Halliburton. 34.4 points, 6.9 assists, 4.3 steals over the last 7 games while shooting 58%. Thunder coming off their third straight loss, 124-115 at home over the Kings on Sunday. So that's it. That's the thing. So this game was on Sunday. So this is a rematch of Sunday's game. Sorry about that. I had Tuesday written there. Now that makes sense. Shea has an abdominal strain, right ankle soreness, and now is in protocols. Giddey went for 18, 7, and 5 in the last spot. And take it away for us here. Pistol Pete Loshak, anything interest you in Kings Thunder?
Yeah, just reading the spot, just like you said, SGA out. Right? Sacramento won the first game. OKC now just a small dog, right? This has OKC written all over it to me, Jimmy the Bag, all over it.
Yeah, Brian Barber saying that Fox might not play. I'm going to pull up that information. Maybe
he didn't go through shoot around. That's what it was. Fox was limited during shoot arounds, and he's listed as a game time decision so far 34 minutes ago.
Wow, interesting. This is very fishy. What do you think here, Wham Bam? Anything you're making official?
Very fishy, man. Gotta go Isaiah Joe. Gotta go Isaiah Joe, man. Last game, no shade. Isaiah Joe stepped up. I think he gets 20-plus points today at plus 135. That's the way I'm going in this game. I like Lou Dort as well. I think him on the assist side of things may be a little sneaky. Maybe even get him to have 3-pointers. 3-3-pointers. I think that is another good play there for Lou Dort. I think this is going to be more of an up-tempo type game, especially if you don't have De'Aaron Fox. It's going to be a tough spot there, but you're going to rely more on Malik Monk to play a lot more minutes. Malik Monk is going to be shooting a lot of threes, And shout out to my guy Slow Jams, because Slow Jams putting us up on game, man, saying that this is a Scott Foster special. I gotta check this out, bro. I can't cap this game without knowing if this is a Scott Foster or not. And looks, it seems no, there's no Scott Foster here today, bro. Come on,
okay,
man.
all right, okay.
Wait,
Wow, I had a heart attack
wait.
there. I was like, let's count that out.
Hold on. Yeah, we gotta wait. Come on now.
Just the mention of that name now gives me palpitations.
Jesus,
Jesus. God.
No, this is Curtis Blair, Aaron Smith, Semi-Gillis. Come on, man. Slow down here. So, but no, I think it is a fishy game though. So you could be right on some Scott Foster shenanigans without him being there. But I think that this is a fishy game based off of just the injury report. But Isaiah Joe is where we're going to go today. Plus 135 official for me. Tell him to have 20 points. He was able to hold it down last game. I think he's going to continue to do the same. I think both of these teams are going to be playing a little bit up tempo here. So I think points will be locked in, not as a premium, be more of a dollar menu special here for the points. Saying stats will be accumulated, and I think Isaiah Joe gets his today. So shout out to you, Slow Jams, man. Don't be kidding in the chat, bro. We take everything you guys say as concrete, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially while we're doing this stream, it's hard for us to look at stuff, but I had to mid breakdown. Check that out. But yeah, man, I think that this is a good spot for the Kings. Once the line gets adjusted, if Darren Fox is not announced in, but if you're liking OKC, you want to hop on them right now. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they get a little quick revenge. This team has been really good at getting revenge as well. So as far as OKC, so even without Shea, you think Giddey, but I'm going Isaiah Joe over 19.5 points plus 135.
And Jim, I think it has OKC written all over it, and I am betting it, but tiny. But I am betting it. And you can write this down for me for official plays. Okay, first half money line plus 125. That's at that's at Heritage, and then I'll also take full game plus 3.5 on the spread minus 108 current line at Heritage.
Nice job getting the hook. It's tricky. I want to come with you on the Thunder. I just now if De'Aaron Fox is announced in, but I don't see why they would mess with a wrist injury here, especially after getting the W on the first one. So I'm in. Equanimus looking at the under. That under is also appealing here. 23% of the tickets, 28% of the cash, 23 and 28, and the total's down to 234.5. So yeah, I guess I kind of. I guess I'm interested in that under as well. Okay.
Let's get it.
All right. So I'm interested. That was a fun breakdown. All right. Quinnimus, I think I'm going to join you on that. And Pete, I think I'm going to join you on the spot there with the Thunder. All right. Let's move on to the next ball on the board. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We have a couple cappers in our chat, respected cappers that we run with that have given us looks on this one already. Indiana Pacers 27-35, 9-20 on the road at Dallas Mavericks 32-30, 20-11 at home with American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. First off, Bobby Boucher's bomb play of the day is Mavs first quarter, minus 2.5 at minus 110. Our guy Tone Miggins says Irving assists over is the levels play of the day, minus 135. He's putting 2.5 units on the, and I don't have the number handy of what that Kyrie
5.5.
5.5?
5.5.
5.5.
I got 5.5 minus 135, so I think that's the one you're talking about.
Mal in the house says, I need a birthday pick. I was born on the 29th.
You got it. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Huge. Shout out to Mally Mal. Long-time associate, Mally Mal. Of course, you get a birthday pick. Well, actually, it's got to be Tampa Bay. But happy birthday, Mally Mal. Maybe I'll give you a second one. But we all love Tampa Bay in the NHL tonight. Maybe I'll give you 2, Mally Mal, just for being you. First one, no-brainer, Tampa Bay Lightning money line or minus 1 if you're nasty.
I love it. All right, let's break this one down. Pacers, Mavs in Dallas. First off, Dallas opened up minus 6.5 at Pinnacle last night, 8:34. They're now minus 8.5. So a big move towards the Dallas Mavericks. Totals wise, it's opened up at 236, now at 237.5. Cash wise here, we have 13,222 tickets in. The second most bet game on the board. 40% of the tickets and 78% of the cash is on the Pacers. But the market's moved strongly towards the Mavs. 44% of the tickets and 76% cash on the under, but the total's gone up. Indiana, pace-wise, this is way too high. Way too high of a total, but the number's going up. Indiana 2-3 over the past 5, playing the pace 97.67 possessions a game. Dallas 1-4, playing at the pace 98.94 possessions a game. Pacers coming off their second win in 3 games, 121-108 at Orlando on Saturday. And Haliburton, 15 points, 14 assists, playing very well. Mavs coming off their 4th loss in 5 games, 111-108 at home to the Lakers on Sunday. And nobody is doing anything except for players named Luka and Kyrie. And it's a problem. I'm very interested to see this work. There was a look, it escapes me right now, but on our live stream, someone we love, was it Mike M? I think it was Mike M was telling us it now is the time to start betting Luka points, rebounds, assists, under.
That was
unders.
Great.
Yeah, that was our guy Mike M. So take it away here for us. Pistol Pete, Loshak, Pacers, Mavs.
Dude, I mean, this is a crazy game, but now because so many people that not so many, but 2 people that we respect a lot are labeling it like, play of the day and all that. Maybe Dallas is playing. I mean, I was looking at this one. Tyrese Haliburton's playing great, right? And someone commented that they like a Haliburton double-double. I think that's, Justin McIvy. Shout out to Justin McIvy. Dallas, when are they going to put it together? I'm not sure. Indiana, I think they have 3 straight ATS wins. They look like they're playing great. Haliburton, playing really great. And so I was thinking, I don't know, man, that's a lot of points, So I was thinking definitely pass, but free play would be Indiana. But now if a game like that, someone like Mike M comes in with the Dallas minus 8.5, and there's also who else was the other guy who said that Dallas first quarter was a strong play as well. Man, maybe Dallas is worth a play. I'd definitely be leaning hard at taking Dallas first quarter or full game, and also coming on the other side with a Haliburton prop double-double or something like that. My first thought was too many points for Indiana, but after reading the comments, that's definitely wrong.
And LJ coming in saying Indiana has a -4 first half point margin on the road. What do you think here, Wham Bam, Pacers, Mavs?
Yeah, tough game, tricky game in my opinion. I think they're so let's start off with the Haliburton birthday stuff. So he has the same birthday as Marley Marvin. I think Marley Marvin said Lee Davis has the same birthday as him as well.
Yeah, on the 29th.
Very funny, on the 29th, because that's the Haliburton birthday is the 29th. So everyone's celebrating the day. So y'all gotta wait till leap year. We can't take this shit serious. We're not gonna load up on Haliburton because today's not his birthday. It's the 29th. We gotta wait till leap year, you guys. That being said, I do like the double-double for Haliburton. Of course, that's my boy right there. Shout out to him. I think that this team with the Dallas Mavericks, they're going to continue to have, they're going to continue to play up on the offensive side of things. Pacers don't play any defense. Obviously, this is a high-ass total. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes under, though. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes under. And it's not something I'm not going to bet, so maybe I'm just going to stop talking there. But I wouldn't be surprised. As far as the side here, I think Dallas probably are a good spot. I think I'm in agreement with you guys there. I don't want to bet this game though because I'd rather just watch it and enjoy it. I don't really have any edges on anything here because I think that the Dallas Mavericks team that I expect to see today should win this game convincingly, win by double digits. But I could be mistaken by, the power of the birthday for Haliburton, and he comes out drop a 40+ 15 assist type game here against a team that I feel like has zero perimeter defense for him. So he should be able to do as he please, get off anything, and those guys should hit all the threes that they want as far as Buddy Hield, Mathurin and those guys. So it's a tough game in my opinion because I kind of think that there's 2 layup boys involved in Miles Turner and Christian Wood, 2 guys that just, above 6'10", don't like the dunk, and I don't want to bet anything with those guys as well. So it's going to be a pass for me, but if I had to have a play here, it's going to possibly, scarily, but be the under and Dallas to win it by double digits.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stay off of this. I love the under with the pace. But the fact that the bigger bets have come in on the under and it's gone up 1.5 points is going to just keep me off of it. And then I do think that the Mavericks should bounce back, but the fact that the bigger bets are on the Pacers and the market's moving towards the Mavericks is another just stay off spot for me. So I'm going to have to stay off. Anything you want to make official here, Pistol Pete Loshak?
No, I guess, but I was initially surprised by how many people loved Dallas so much. But now reading everything that they're saying, and Mike M with another friggin' awesome comment, Pimp Slap Play of the Day is Dallas. I don't know if I want to make it official, but I'm going to tail it. That's for sure. I am going to bet Dallas a few ways, probably. But no, nothing official as of right now.
All right. And you're not making the Halliburton double-double official, Wham?
No.
Well, you know what, I forgot to mention, I do like what Mike M was saying about the under points, rebounds, and assists for Luka as well. The only reason why I haven't put that in as well, because it's just a high-ass total, man. I can only imagine him getting over there just slightly by a sliver there. So I'm going to stay away from this game throughout the whole thing.
All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, 9 p.m. Eastern, San Antonio Spurs 14-47, 5-26 on the road at Utah Jazz, 31-31, 20-12 at home at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. Let's start with the line history. This opened up Utah -9. They're now -9.5. Total wise, it's opened up at 237.5. It's dropped a point and a half to 236. Take a look at the cash flow for Spurs Jazz. 8,610 tickets in. 28% of the tickets and 51% of the cash is on the Spurs.
Yeah.
Then you have 49% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the under. It's a lot of money on the under, but the total is dropping. Spurs have lost 16 straight games. See, these teams met here on Saturday when the Jazz handed their Spurs another loss, 118-102. Spurs over the past 5 playing pace 102.6. Jazz playing 101.00. Markkanen went for 27, and Chris Dunn back in the league went for 15. Spurs are riddled with injuries. And this isn't a very appealing spot for me. Pete, is there anything that you're looking at? Is there an edge or an angle you have?
No, I mean, I'm not the greatest NBA handicapper in the world, but I can usually hang with people. This game is above my pay grade. No clue, zero clue what to do here.
Let's see what Wham Bam has to say.
Let's talk about Jeremy Shohan one time, man. Last game, 32 minutes. 22 points, 8 for 18 from the field. Kind of want to go to his props today. And this is a bet that I did make. But I'm not sure if I want to make this as an official play because I didn't drop the official unit size on here yet. So I have to add a little bit more to make this official. But Jeremy Shohan to have 15 points at +115, I think that's kind of a layup here for today. It just seems like a good opportunity for us to be able to take advantage of the matchup here in the Jazz. Obviously, they're not going to have one of their main scorers in Jordan Clarkson. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I just had that shit up. My apologies, you guys. As far as this team, outside of being Jordan Clarkson being gone, I think they don't have, obviously, Colin Sexton too. So, yeah, Colin Sexton is out as well. No Davin Vassell, no Isaiah Robley, no Trey Jones for the San Antonio Spurs. So you're going to rely on a lot of Keldon, a lot of Jeremy Shohan in his game. I think that Jeremy Shohan has a good game today. Obviously, Devontae Graham probably will be one of those guys. He's pulled, though, because he's trying to win games. And Pop doesn't want to win anything. He wants to get Victor Wembanyama just as much as the Rockets want to as well. So they're obviously going on a tanking battle. The Utah Jazz, are they tanking though? I think that we can't know. We cannot know if they're tanking because they go up against these weak teams and they play up. Just like the last game when they played San Antonio, won by 16 points. Maybe it's San Antonio's time to get, a little bit of revenge there, which they don't care about revenge at all. But, maybe just for a numbers standpoint, they were able to win this game here just to have some pride. I don't know how that is there, but Jeremy Shohan is the only thing I locked in. I'm not sure if I'm going to knock this in as the official play, though, because I think I'd rather put the Bulls first half as an official play on my official card rather than the Jeremy Shohan. I did bet that, though. So over 14.5 points. +115. I did bet that as everything, but again, I haven't added enough on it to make it official here. So that's the only thing that I did lock in on this game. But as far as the side there, it's a wobbler, man, in my opinion, because I don't know if the Jazz are really tanking and if San Antonio is going to really play this game serious or not. But points will be scored here, so I think props are going to be the only direction that I have as far as my money on.
What do you think about this under that's dropped 1.5? Seems like big bets are on it. It's tough fading, betting an under against the Spurs, but I'm interested in it. Maybe I should just take it off. Do you have any interest in it, Wham?
Yeah, not really. Just because. I mean, yeah, you know what? I don't really think that I don't have any reason to bet under with San Antonio. And San Antonio over the last few years, their whole mentality is just all about just getting stats, man. And I just don't want to bet against that. And then also, obviously, you would go under because no Jordan Clarkson. That's a lot of points being taken out. A lot of shots attempt are taken out of the game here, but I like the over with Jeremy Shohan, so I'll say that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I kind of don't want to touch anything on the total there, but that's pretty much the only thing I'm thinking.
Pete, if you had a free $500 bet on the total at 236 to go over or under.
Oh my God! Honestly, I would flip a coin or maybe try to DM Mike M or something like that. I'd flip a coin. I'd DM Mike M, and if I didn't hear from back in 30 seconds, I'd flip a coin.
Okay. All right, we got 2 games left in NBA before we get into college basketball with Daby Cab. And last week was phenomenal work here by the group. So let's keep it going. But first, 10 p.m. Eastern, Portland Trailblazers 29-31, 12-17 on the road. The Golden State Warriors 31-30, 24-7 at home. Chase Center in Frisco. Portland 2-3 over their past 5, playing at a pace 99.6 possessions a game, while the Warriors are 3-2, playing at a pace of 99.3 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here. We have the Warriors opening up at -4, -105. They're now 4 at -106, so no movement. Totals wise, it's opened up at 236. It's dropped a half point to 235.5. And cash wise, 7,464 tickets in, 71% of tickets, 70% of cash on the Warriors, but market not moving. 30% of tickets and 89% of the cash on the under. So big bets coming in on the under, and it's dropped a half point. But it keeps bouncing back around 235.5, 236.5. So market not doing much with that. Blazers had their 2-game losing streak snapped, a 131-114 win at home over the Rockets on Sunday. Dame went for 71 in that one. And he did it in spectacular fashion. 13-22 from 3, 22 for 38 on the field, 14-14 from the line. Very impressive. So Dame over his past 22 games is averaging 38.7 points per game. He's gone for 30 or more 17 times. And the Blazers are 10 wins and 12 losses in those 22 games. I mean, I was talking yesterday to a friend, and I was like, at what point do we start blaming him? Because, yeah, it's great. Great numbers, great stats. It's great. But you're fucking losing. I watched the whole game when Kobe went for 81 against the Raptors, and they needed every one of those points.
Yeah, they did.
Every single one of those points that Kobe got that game, they needed against the Raptors. And Kobe in that run, because remember he had that month where he was averaging over 40-something. I don't have the number in front of me, but they were winning all those games. And Dame's not winning anything. So Warriors had their 2-game winning streak snapped, a 109-104 win out, or loss at home over. It says win at home over Minnesota, man. My writing's fucking me up here. Draymond Green might return on Tuesday. MRI exam on Monday. He was able to practice, showed no damage. Take it away here for us, Pistol Pete Loshak. Any feel for this Blazers Warriors spot?
Gosh, not really. Looking at the line movement, I would say maybe under, but that's just because it doesn't make any sense to me at all why it would be moving the way it is. But of course, by tip off, it could be different. Got nothing on this one, really.
LJ saying Warriors 14-4 against spread last 18 in the first half, 17-3 straight up last 20 first half. So take the Warriors at home first half. Wham Bam, what are you thinking here? Blazers, Warriors.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've seen a lot of 70-point games so far this season. And I think both of those, all 3 of those guys have, and Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, and newly acquired Dame, all of them needed those points. I mean, Devin Booker lost the game. He lost the game against the Boston Celtics. Donovan definitely, it was overtime, so they won and won the game. So that, they only won by a few points there. Same thing with this game as far as the Dame. And if you take those guys out, out those, they're getting blown out in every of those, like all those games, they're getting blown out. So I think that Klay does go off again today, Molly Mall. We got to continue to, man. I will never call him Clank Thompson again. I'm going to keep saying that, bro. He will never get that from me again. He's been on fire, holding it all the way down. My guy Jimmy, he has a philosophy when someone goes for a career high, we typically kind of want to fade him the next game somehow, some way. And I'm doing just that. I'm going with the first half with the Golden State Warriors. They have won they covered 4 of the last 5 first halves at the house. And this team in Portland, they have failed to cover 4 of the last 5 on the road in the first half here. So kind of giving you just a quick sample, small sample size with that. But for the most part, we know what type of team is going to be at home. They are getting Draymond Green back. He's probable, so he will most likely be coming back there, helping them out on the defensive side. And I kind of think that, I mean, as much as Jordan Poole has been very mediocre, hasn't had a 20-point game yet, I think, since Steph has been out, or if he only had one, which was the following game. But he has been struggling over the last 3 games. It's been Clay ball hogging, as Mike M said. He said under 2.5 assists. That's hilarious, bro. But yeah, he has been ball hogging, but he's been making those shots, bro. And then if guys are shooting around you at a good rate, keep shooting, Clay. Keep shooting, because he ain't clanking right now. But I think that the guy that I'm going to keep an eye out on if I wanted to have any action on props, it's got to be Jordan Poole. He's been playing like a puddle lately. I think he gets to the waterworks today and can start making shots, becoming Poole. So, but the official play for me is going to be the first half, Golden State Warriors -2. I think they start off and maybe win this game outright throughout the game. I think Dame time will show up in this game. But, for him to have 71 points, him to have 28 tonight, I think that's kind of okay on our side. But it still kind of helps us with that fade trend that Jimmy likes to go. 28 points is definitely a good way to fade him if he gets to that range. So I think that's probably where we're going to be looking at with Dame tonight. Give me the first half, though. Golden State -2. That's official play for me.
Yeah, his prop is at 37.5. And that's just nuts. I wish they weren't playing the Warriors. Because I imagine if Clay starts hitting threes, Poole starts hitting threes, Dame's going to want to answer. I wish it was a more boring opponent. I'd certainly find a lot of interest in that under 37.5. And maybe I should move on it. The Warriors first half, though, beautifully backed with the angle that LJ from H-Town dropped and the stats behind it. Mally Mouse says Berserk 37.5. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anything you want to make official here, Pistol Pete, before we go into our final game?
Nah, while I was listening, I was like, maybe capping the Cappers play on the Portland team total under. But yeah, this is one of those games that, way off. No play.
Damn. Is this the spot where I make my first fucking player prop bet in 2 years? Fuck. Under 37.5. I mean, how...
And if you're worried about Dame going home to drop the points, this is San Francisco. He hasn't did that since they moved to Chase Arena. He hasn't did that shit since then. So don't worry about San Francisco where he goes off. You know what I'm saying?
I'm interested in it. Very interested in it. Okay, let's move. And I'm interested in your first half look as well.
Yeah, we on that.
Interesting. Okay. All right, let's move on. I think I follow that one. I think I'm going to roll with you on that one. Let's roll on the final game on the board before we get into college basketball. 10 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Timberwolves 31-32, 11-18 on the road at the LA Clippers 33-30, 15-14 on Work Crypto. Minnesota 1-4 over their past 5, playing the pace of 101.90 possessions a game. Mike M says the under 37.5 is a medium high look on my card. I'm interested, man. I know what's going to happen. I mean, if I cash one player prop, it's like a drug. I was just going to be right back. I would be like, okay. Warriors 3-2, playing the pace 99.30 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here. This opened up with the clip show at -6. They're now -6.5. Totals wise, this opened up at 233. It's now at 233.5. Cash wise, we have 10,470 tickets in, 30% of the tickets, 48% of the cash on the Timberwolves. Bigger bets coming in on the Timberwolves. 69% of the tickets, 83% of cash is on the under. Minnesota comes in off its third straight loss, 109-104 at Golden State on Sunday. Naz Reid went for 30. That was a prop given out on the show by Wham Bam on our live bet stream. There's a lot of winners given out on that show. Ant, though, coming off a 5 of 19 shooting night. It's not something we see regularly from Ant Edwards, and they can expect a nice bounce back spot, too. Minnesota just shot the ball poorly. 3 of 13 from 3 in the fourth quarter. They played poorly. Cats playing video games somewhere. Rudy Gobert, 13.4 points, 11.6 boards, is sick. He's got what his feelings are hurt. Fucking bitch. Clippers coming off their second straight loss, 134-124 in overtime at Denver on Sunday, averaging 149.5 points over their past 2 games and losing both. Kawhi, 33, Paul George, 23, 17 from Westbrook, and 5 steals from Westbrook. Plumlee, 10 boards. That was another great call from Wham Bam. Take it away here, Pistol Pete. Last game on the board for NBA. Anything interest you now?
No, not really. And I did look at this game, briefly, and I was just like, I have no clue. I mean, I guess my lean was definitely Minnesota. Considering the spot, but yeah, I have a lean to Minnesota actually.
Yeah, I can understand it. Feels like sharp action is on it. Leo said it says Clips win by 10. What does Wham Bam have to say about this one?
Yeah, this is a tough guy. This is the toughest game, I think, as far as prop wise, because I have so many ways I want to make money here. They're not giving me any assist props for Russ, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But I was thinking more so on assist prop with Russ, maybe a 3-point prop with Ant Edwards, points prop with Ant Edwards. He's been one of those guys that's all they have. You know what I mean? Mike Conley is there. He's trying to distribute the ball. Like you mentioned, the boys out there playing video games, and Cat, I love that. That's funny as hell. Yeah, and he sucks. He's probably going to be gone soon as well. You got to just move on. Talk about Ant Edwards only. But I think Ant Edwards probably get 30 points again today. The last time I bet that officially and gave it out, he ended at 29, and we had the 29.5. So I have been a little bit burnt on that. Same thing with the Russell Westbrook assist. He didn't see anything, and he didn't see any minutes in overtime, so we didn't have any chances there. But shout out to Mike M with that over 1.5 steals for Russ. Russ has actually been playing pretty good defense there. So even though this Clippers team since acquiring him been going over every total, I understand why you want to go under this total. I think that the pace is going to continue to be high. If you got a team that's ran by Russ, that's shooting a lot of threes with Kawhi and PG. I think that's gonna what their game plan is going to be from here on out, and going up against a team that just want to continue to shoot and kind of have lacks on the defensive side there. So as far as rebounds, you talked about the Nas Reed. I mean, Nas Reed definitely showed the fuck up last game without Gobert being in the lineup there. So that was something that we have to keep a lookout on. As far as him playing today, I think Gobert is probable, so he's going to be low-key locked in. They may get Turian Prince back as well, so that's something I'm going to be looking at. And also, I think you have questionable tag for Zubac in this game, so we might not hear anything about any of those players until towards the end of tip. There's nothing I bet officially here, but if I'm chasing the night, we having a good game. And when I say chasing, I mean I'm trying to compact on everything I made in my head that I thought it was leans, and they're all cashing throughout the day. So I'm going to try to keep chasing the wins that I had in my head. If I'm chasing wins for the day, it's going to be 30 points for Ant Edwards, and I'm thinking that the pace is going to be up with the total going over here to 33.5. So that's the way I would think here. I like what my boy Molly Moss saying over sounding. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be an over in this game too. So that's the way I'm thinking. And shout out to Tyrone. He says over 6.5 assists for Westbrook, man. I think he's going to get a double-double, maybe even a triple-double sooner or later on his team. And it's only a matter of time that he has 10 assists. So I think that's probably going to be a play I make for sure. So you got to follow me on Twitter if I'm going to make anything official here. Kind of don't have anything locked in. I don't have anything locked in or zeroed in just yet, but those 3 things are what I'm looking at. Assists for Russ, 30 points from Ant, and the over.
Well, let's review all action before we get into college.
Actually, Jim, just listening to what everyone was saying, I'd like to add on 2 plays to this, okay?
Sure.
Let's take Minnesota first half +4 -110. That's the current line at Pinnacle. Minnesota first.
Sorry, let me get over there. Sorry. Okay, Loshak is on Minnesota first half. What was it?
+4 -110. That's Pinnacle.
Okay.
And then you can add on, where is it? Minnesota team total, full game, which I think is damn, I can't find it. 113.5 -102 at Pinnacle. Over.
Wow, you're getting a +4 first half?
At Pinnacle right now, yeah, it's moved up. It's +3.5, +100, and if you buy to 4, it's -110. So yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, you got it. And then Wolves, was that team total under?
Total over 113.5 -102.
All right, you are locked in. You are locked in. All right, let's review all action in NBA. By the way, Ick Schnizzle joined our show off the top, and he gave us a couple looks. He's on the Raps and the under. He's on the Nets Bucks under, and he's on the Clippers under. Says he feels like Noli knows with all these unders. We got started with Wham on DeJounte Murray over 1.5 threes at -130. Loshak's on the under 234, and the Wizards team total under 113. I want in. I want in on the under, and I also am very interested in backing the Hawks here with Snyder. I want all three. I want all of those spots. Whams is on the Bucks first half -3.5. Loshak's on the under 231, and we just heard from Ick Schnizzle that he's also on that under. I'm going to take a closer look on that under. Then we have Raptors first quarter -1 for Pete at -121. I'm interested in that. Then we have Loshak on the Lakers team total under 114 at -110. I expect to bet the Nuggets first half team total over at 61.5 right now. Wham has Isaiah Joe over 20 or more points at +135. Loshak has the Thunder first half money line +125, full game +3.5, and I'm going to be on the Thunder and the under. Bobby Boucher, Bobby Bomb play of the day's Mavs first quarter -2.5. Tom Miggins gave us Kyrie Irving over 5.5 assists at -135, putting 2.5 units on that. Neither of the three of us moved on that game. Wham's on Shoan over 14.5 points at -115. And I have interest in the under, but I want to look at it further. Wham's on the Warriors first half -2. I feel like I have to bet Lillard's under 37.5 points and rebounds, or sorry, just points. But I haven't made a player prop bet in 2 years, and I just feel like how do you not? And then Loshak's on Minnesota first half +4, and the Wolves team total over 113.5 -102. And that concludes our NBA breakdowns. Wham Bam, my guy, thank you for joining us on Tuesday. I love these Tuesdays with you. Can't wait to hang with you in San Antone. And Wham, any last words? And what days are you doing NBA Pub Hub this week for all of the viewers to follow along?
Yeah, we're on Mondays, OG Mondays with me, myself, Jeremy, Babano, Ski, Dutch Boy Fresh. You never know. I may be able to pop in throughout the week there on the NBA Pub Hub. So make sure you guys tune in 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm sorry, Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. or 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then also you'll catch me here on Betting with the Bag. I think it's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm not sure all the way. We're locked in all the way official there, but I'll be back here on anytime my boy needs me. And then also you can catch me on Who Bangin' Sports Talk every Friday and Sunday. We're doing the spaces on Sundays now to get the early games out the way there. So shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Trot Wam on Twitter, man.
I love it. There he is. Trot Wam in the house. We go from Compton and we head, I guess not south, but west. We head west to Dallas, Texas. The last week the three of us were together was simply spectacular. If we can keep that going, it will be very, very good for us and for our friends and our fam. So we move on to college basketball. Please welcome the star of our Saturday NCAA Pub Hub and our Friday Net Profit College Basketball Show, and with us Tuesdays and Wednesdays here. Please welcome Dabra Cadabra. Dabby, how are you, my friend?
Muted to start, but I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to be back. College basketball it's been a treat these last couple of weeks, but we got to keep it rolling. Can't get too high, can't get too low. So let's get fucking going and make some more money.
Let's get right to work. We got to move quickly here. Let's get right to work. We have 11 games picked out, and then maybe Pete or Cab are going to add something. It was very difficult to pick the games for this one, and I was a little selfish. And I just said, whatever, let go. Just be selfish as you want. I want to cap the ASUN playoffs. They're in the quarterfinals right now, so all 4 ASUN games and then a bunch of Power 5 games. That's what we are going to be capping here. So let's get right to work. Move over to NCAA basketball, and we get started at 6:30 p.m. Eastern with the number 6 ranked Marquette Golden Eagles, 23-6, 15-3 in the Big East. At Butler Bulldogs, 14-15, 6-12 in the Big East. We're at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Let's take a look at the line history here, and we'll move over to Bet Online from Pinnacle. So let's move over to Bet Online, and let's. Oh, what the hell's going on? Why can't I find it? I'm tripping here. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Butler opening up at +8. They're now at +9. Totals wise, it's opened up at 141 and has not moved, but it did go up to 142.5 originally and then dropped back down. And let's move on to the cash flow for this one. We have line value being given to Marquette, 7,031 tickets in. 43% of the tickets and 53% of the cash is on Marquette, and the market's moved in their direction. 49% of the tickets, 59% of cash is on the over, and the market's moved in that direction. No, they're not in neutral sites. I believe we'll talk about it, but I believe in Kennesaw State, they're playing at the Convocation Center in Kennesaw. Some of the top seeds get to play at home for the tournament, but we'll go over all of that when we get to the ASUN, because we're starting with 3 Power 5 spots. So here we go. Marquette coming off their 4th straight win, 90-84 at home over DePaul on Saturday's 14.5-point favorites. It was very underwhelming. Butler snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 59-58 win at DePaul on Wednesday's 2.5-point dogs. Butler lost 60-52 at Marquette. They played pretty well. It was on February 4th. They were 15-point dogs on Marquette, and they played pretty well. Take it away here for us. Pistol Pete, your thoughts, Marquette, Butler.
Yeah, I love Shaka Smart as a coach. I've been saying that for a long time. I have a pretty good read on Shaka Smart as a coach. Of course, Marquette's been great ATS this year. Not sure this is a game they care about, though. They're going in as a huge road favorite. They've already clinched a tie for the regular season title. I do think Shaka Smart is probably the kind of coach who will, maybe hold him back a little bit in a game that doesn't mean that much. Not saying they're going to lose, but I definitely would be leaning Butler +9 full game. Maybe Marquette first half, but definitely Butler 9 full game and first half under.
Interesting. Daby Cab, take it away.
I love it. I think Pete might have nailed that, man. I'm not really looking forward to getting behind Butler here, but I think he nailed it. If you're going to take Marquette, I maybe would look early. Like you said, they clinched a part of the Big East title here. They've been well on the road, 7-4. Defense is lacking, though. Marquette puts up so many points that they don't really give a shit about defense. They allow 71.1 points per game, which is 213th in the country. But that offense putting up 80.8 points per game, which is 17th. Butler at home, they've been, better than they've been for the whole season overall. 10-5 at home. That offense just flat struggles. We all know that. They've only put up 62 or less in 3 straight games. On the season, Butler's only averaging 65.6 points per game, which is 324th in the country. When you look at this, though, Marquette's been so fucking overvalued because I think people are catching on to who they are. They've only covered 2 of their last 6 games. And I think their bad defense, Bulldogs being at home, I think Pete said it. I think you might grab the Bulldogs and hold on here. I'm not personally doing it. There's college basketball every single day. I know we're only here Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm betting it every single day. And this, for me, just isn't something I want to do. I don't want to grab Butler and hold on. But I kind of think that might be the play here. Or Marquette in the first half.
I'm the same way. I can understand those being the looks, but I don't want to bet it. Maybe if I'm lacking in action, but I'm not going to be. I got tons of hockey and NBA, so this doesn't really appeal to me. Pete, are you making anything official here?
You can put the first half under down for me, Jimmy the Bag, at Pinnacle, 66.5 -106.
That under plays towards our breakdown, Pete. I mean, if Butler's going to be in this game, it's got to go under.
Right. First half under 66.5 -106. Current line at Pinnacle.
You are locked in. Let's move on. We go from The Big East over to the ACC, 7 p.m. Eastern. Clemson Tigers 21-8, 13-5 in conference at the number 13th ranked. Virginia Cavaliers 21-6, also 13-5 in conference. John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia. We'll start with the line history in this one. We have Clemson opening up at Pinnacle at +6. They're now at 6.5. We'll go over to Bet Online. Bet Online, they opened up at 7, and they're now at 6.5. Totals wise, this opened up at 132. It has dropped to 130. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have slight line value on Clemson. 80,050 tickets in. Very few games have more tickets. I'd say the only game with more tickets in on this one is the game we're talking about next, the Iowa-Indiana game. Here we have 70% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on Clemson. So Clemson is a public road dog. And, you know, I get why they are. And I'd like to bet against it here. 76% of the tickets, 83% of cash on the over, and the total is dropping. Mike M says Clemson hammer spot.
You want to go against Clemson? Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying, but I don't like seeing everybody on.
Give me the ticket count one more time. I'm sorry.
Sure. People all over Clemson here. We have 70% of the tickets and 67% of the cash, which I could have predicted those. I would have said 70 and 70 just based on what Clemson's been doing lately. Clemson comes in off its second straight win, 96-71 at NC State on Saturday, 6-point dogs. It's Virginia comes in off its second straight loss, 71-63 North Carolina on Saturday, 4.5-point dogs. What better way to snap out of that than to come home? This is their lone game versus Clemson this year, so we don't have anything to break down from a previous situation. And I knew that everybody would see Clemson, how well they're playing, and they want to back them. But this is a really tight spread. I think the number is really tight. And let's see what Pistol P. Loshak has to say. Any edge for you here, Clemson, Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia obviously been slumping. The offense disappeared. Clemson is, I think, a team that can be a bit overvalued. I don't know about taking Virginia minus 6.5. Maybe a halftime play for me, but pass.
Yeah. Mike M. saying just a hammer spot, says ACC faves playing a conference opponent they beat against spread on the road in the previous meeting. But the previous meeting wasn't this year, right? Right? Does that affect, Mike, some of it because of that not being this year? Take it away, Daby Cab, Clemson, Virginia.
I stayed off of this one, Jimmy, because of what you said. Shout out to our guy, Razor. He calls it his gambler's first glance. As I'm looking through the card, we all have our different ways to cap. The first thing I do is just fucking look through the whole thing and see what I'm interested in. Just jumped out at me, and I'm like, yeah, Clemson, that's too many points. But after I go into this a little bit, I'm staying off. I'm staying away from Clemson here. The reason when I first started capping into it was thinking Clemson. Virginia is 0-4 ATS their last 4. They're kind of slumping, like our guy Pete said. And my problem with Virginia is they lack an explosive score, but what they do have is depth. They have depth coming off that bench. And at home, they're 13-1. This team is just stellar at home. I do expect them to win this game. I do expect Virginia to beat Clemson. God, I just feel like it could be too many points. And this Clemson team, I know they're going against a great Virginia defense, but Clemson has 4 people who put up double digits on their team, including their 2 bigs. They're led by that front court with Hunter Tyson and Chase Hunter. That's hard if you're not careful. Hunter Tyson putting up 15.6 per game. Chase Hunter 14.3. So they've got that big front court down low. It just seems too easy. So I'm off Clemson. I know that sounds stupid, but I'm off Clemson here.
I think that Clemson has a much, much more difficult time here than what just happened at NC State. And I expect now to move on Virginia first half at this point. Virginia first half is what my expectation here. Alex saying road team is covered last 5. I was expecting everybody to be on Clemson. And I just think it's just a perfect bounce back spot for Virginia. Okay, I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time here because watching Cappers I respect on the other side.
You'll notice, Jimmy, I've found for me this year, like with Baylor yesterday against Oklahoma State, like I'm sure everybody knows that I'll be one of those people that'll go with the public, but I have to fucking love it. And I do not love Clemson. There's no way I could say I love Clemson. I kind of lean Clemson, but I don't love it. So, no.
Let's roll on the third big Power 5 spot before we roll into the ASUN quarters. So Iowa Hawkeyes 18-11, 10-8 in the Big Ten. Indiana Hoosiers 29, 11-7 in the Big Ten. We're in Bloomington for this one. Let's take a look at the line history here. Market is moving towards the Hoosiers, and our Dana Delp will be live at the basketball game. God, that'd be fun.
Ooh, what a fun time.
Hoosiers open up -5.5, -110. They're now -5.5, -104. That's over at Pinnacle. Let's go over to Bet Online and see what they've done with it. They've opened up the Hoosiers -4.5 and moved them to -5.5. It got up to -6 at 8:55 this morning. Came back half point. Totals wise, it's opened up at 157. It's dropped a point to 156. Let's go to the cash flow here. We have 12,610 tickets in. 85% of the tickets are on the Hoosiers, and 80% of the cash is on Indiana. Wow. 80% of the tickets, 65% of the cash is on the under. Wild. It has dropped a point. It got down to 154, by the way. So this opened up at 157 and got all the way down to 154, and now you're getting it back up at 156. I wonder if that under is in play here. Justin McElvey stepped on the over when it got down to 154. Troy Torrance saying Iowa off that miracle comeback. Indiana with revenge and massive advantage in the paint. Iowa snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 112-106 overtime victory at home over Michigan State on Saturday as 5.5-point favorites. The fact that they cut down 14 with 90 seconds left. I mean, just unbelievable. Indiana comes in off its second win in 3 games, 79-71 at Purdue on Saturday, 7-point dogs. They lost at Iowa, 91-89 back on January 5th as 1.5-point dogs. So Rebenga in play here. Pistol Pete, Iowa, Indiana. Anything you like?
Yeah, for all the reasons that you said, I think it's an obvious Indiana spot. There could be, I don't know, a little bit of a letdown, maybe after the Purdue win, which is huge on the road. But again, you say, Iowa in general is a team that I'm okay betting against. They've kind of been a little bit unimpressive to me at times this year. So Indiana first half and full game is the way I'm leaning. I'll probably bet it and maybe make it official.
What do you think, Daby Cab? Take it away.
Yeah, and I want to just point this out. We got such a great chat here, man. They hit so many of the things that I'm going to say before I even say them, and I love seeing it. So many great cappers out there, man. And I know a lot of the time when we're all on the same side, it might seem scary, but I've paid attention, and we've all been on Indiana before this year, and we cashed when it happened. We're going to be there again. Indiana and Iowa are both coming off huge wins. So if it wasn't for that, Pete, I would take a little more stock into that Purdue. But Iowa, they were down by 13 or 14 points with like 2 minutes left against Michigan State, right? Last game.
Yeah.
Did I get that right? Yeah, I got that right. Just ridiculous comeback by them, if you saw that. So both coming off huge wins, and this is a home revenge spot. Like we're saying, Indiana's wanting revenge, and Indiana is not an easy place to play. You don't want to come into this place and play. They blew a 21-point lead last time. Like we've talked about, losing that game 90-89 or 91-89. Trace Jackson Davis had 30 points in that game. He had 9 boards. He's back at home where I think he does the exact same, if not more. And this Indiana team, they're 21st in adjusted offense. So I know we talk about how good Iowa is on offense. So is Indiana. Indiana shoots 53.3% inside the arc, which is outstanding. They shoot almost 40% beyond the arc, which is outstanding. I think Indiana is going to be locked the fuck in after what happened the first time, because that first time was embarrassing, and I know damn well they remember it. So I like Indiana here, and also you guys have touched on it. Iowa on the road, they're not a good road team. So I'm on Indiana here, and I guess I'm not gonna worry about all the bets on it either. I'm gonna take Indiana full game here.
Well, let's line shop for you on Indiana full game. It does feel like things are lining up.
Revenga.
Yeah. What are you going to say?
Lucas is shouting Revenga, my bad. And he said he doesn't understand why his girlfriend's shouting it, so I figured I'd help.
15% of the 85 and 80 are the situation with Indiana, so there's a ton of money on them. At least the market's moving towards them. I get it. The best line we can get you is a -5.5 at -104 for Indiana full game. Pete, what are you going to do here?
Yeah, it's I'm going to bet it. If it maybe it's a little bit too obvious, but I'm going to take Indiana first half and full game. I'm seeing first half -3, -108 current line at Pinnacle, and I'm going to take them full game. I'll use the Pinnacle line, but I'll just actually take -5, -113.
-5, -113. Yeah, I'm very interested. I also have interest in the Iowa team total under. I feel like the Hoosiers are going to come to play. So, and if the early action was towards the under overall, I feel like that's the spot. I can understand Justin McElvey saying, well, at 154, it's now gone too low and wanting to go over it. But now we're back at 156. Other cappers thought the same way as McElvey did. Okay, I like it. Great breakdown. I'm interested in coming in. All right, let's move on to ASUN championship action. We're going to break down all 4 games in the ASUN before we go back to Power 5 to finish. It's not all Power 5, actually. I believe we do close with San Diego State, Boise State. So, but let's go. Let's get to work here. We open our ASUN quarterfinal breakdowns with Bellarmine Knights, 15-17, 9-9 in the ASUN at Liberty Flames, 24-7, 15-3 in the ASUN. We're in Lynchburg, Virginia, in Liberty Arena. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Sorry, pull it up right here. We go. We have Bellarmine as a huge dog here. They open up at +17, -108. That +17 is -117 at Pinnacle. Let's see what BetOnline did here. BetOnline opened them up at +18. They're down to +16.5. Totals wise, this opened up at 127.5. It's gone up 2 points to 129.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 1,885 tickets in, 60% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on Bellarmine. That's public, but at least the market's moving in that direction. 26% of the tickets and 56% of the cash is on the under. 26 and 56. So big bets on the under, but it's gone up 2 points. So that's confusing here. Bellarmine comes in off its 3rd win in 4 games. So last night, they opened up the first round of the ASUN tournament as 2-point dogs against North Florida. They won 76-74. And I truly think this carries over into the first half. I want Bellarmine first half. I'm planning on betting them, but I just wanted to talk it out with everybody. Now, Bellarmine's being killed by Liberty this year. Bellarmine lost 70-53 at home to Liberty. Then they lost 70-50 at Liberty. Liberty opens up its conference tournament after winning their 3rd straight game, 73-53 at home as 59-point favorites. I mean, they're very comfortable here. And Bellarmine is going to have some momentum off the top. And how long can they keep it together for me for 20 minutes? I'm close to betting that they can. Pistol Pete, what do you think?
Yeah, I love your breakdown, Jimmy the Bag. Full game, it's a pass for me. If you gave me a free play, I was thinking about the first half under, but you're right. Maybe Bellarmine first half plus all those points is not bad either. Pass for me, but I agree with it generally the way you're thinking about this.
Daby Cab, what do you think? You're muted, my guy. The over has cashed.
Yeah. Fucking fuck. All right. Bellarmine here. They're coming in averaging 66.3 points per game on 45.6% shooting. They're allowing 66.6 points on 43.9% shooting. Tipton's been good for them, putting up 12.8 points per game. He's leading them. They've got another scorer, Johnson, who's putting up 10.7. On the flip side, Liberty, we know they're a much hotter offense, 75.3 points per game on 47.8% shooting. They're allowing 60.2 points on 41% shooting, which is where this comes down to me. I know it's a lot of points. Bellarmine's going to be dealing with tired legs here. There's one. They're coming off an emotional win. And I know that we want to say maybe that Liberty will just be cruising here, but shouldn't it be a packed house? Like, don't we think that this place is going to be kind of rocking for this game? I mean, regardless of the spread, it's an important game, and Liberty's 12-2 at home. I mean, I'd lean Liberty full game. I'm not betting this though.
I'm going to move on Bellarmine first half here, and just the fact that it's sold out doesn't necessarily. I mean, look what Grand Canyon did on Seniors Night. We see these things. There's a lot of pressure, and you're dominant. The tournament's in your home floor. Bellarmine is. It's going to be very fun. I'm looking forward to watch this game. I'm going to be on Bellarmine first half here. Let's move on. And 2 teams I've done very well with, both of these teams. Cash with Eastern Kentucky on Friday. Let's get to the next quarterfinal. North Alabama Lions 18-13, 10-8 in conference at the Eastern Kentucky Colonels 19-12, 12-6 in conference. We're McBrayer Arena in Richmond, Kentucky. Let's take a look at the line history here for the next quarterfinal. And we have North Alabama opening up at +7. Move over here. Sorry, I thought I already had it up here. Opening up at +7, now +8.5. So we have a 1.5 point move towards Eastern Kentucky. Totals wise, it's opened up at 153.5 and has dropped to 153. Cash wise here, Eastern Kentucky being given, almost the most line value on this entire slate. Only two teams have more line value than Eastern Kentucky, and their games we're not talking about. It's Syracuse at home and Texas Tech on the road at Kansas. Those are the two spots that Sports Insights has more implied value than Eastern Kentucky. So 71% of the tickets and 86% of cash on North Alabama. 71 and 86, and the market's moving away from them. 25% of the tickets, 66% of the cash is on the over. So big bets coming in on the over, and the totals dropped a 0.5 point. So confusing market analysis there. North Alabama opens up its conference tournament after losing its second straight game, 92-83 at home to Jacksonville State on Friday as 1.5 point favorites. They haven't been good on the road, and they have no mojo coming in. Eastern Kentucky opens up its tournament off snapping that 2-game losing streak in a 56-52 win at Jacksonville on Friday as 1 point favorites. I was very confident in that spot. They just lost to North Alabama in their lone meeting. They lost, and they were 8.5 point favorites. So Billy Friedrich says another Rebenga spot. I like EKU. So do I, but that's a big spread. I'm wondering if I only focus on first half. Pistol Pete, what do you think here? North Alabama, Eastern Kentucky.
I don't really know. The line didn't make any sense to me. You're telling me now that like the place that we look at has full line value or close to it on Eastern Kentucky. I was thinking why. I was thinking North Alabama or pass, but the line didn't make any sense to me. So maybe I'll look at a halftime play, but I'm off it. What
about you, Daby Cab?
I was in the same boat. It was North Alabama or pass. 9-3 ATS, their last 12 overall. 4-1 ATS, their last 5 road games. They won the road meeting against these two teams last time. I know it went into overtime. I think that it could be a revenge spot as far as a win goes, but 7.5 is where it opened. Where did you say it is right now?
8.5.
Yeah, I don't understand this line. I absolutely can't get involved in a line that's just begging me to bet North Alabama, so not going to do it.
I'm going to back Eastern Kentucky here first half. Season ends tonight for North Alabama. I mean, that's easy to say. Whether or not they cover the full game, I'm just going to focus on the first half. It is 4.5. And you know what? I guess I will put a couple – I will look at it a little further, but I want Eastern Kentucky.
You just said something that made me think something I haven't even thought. Also, if they are up like at half, if a team senses that their season's over, like sure we might think, oh, they might fight because of that. They also might fucking lay down and die. They literally might just roll over and die. Like if they can tell that they're going to lose the game and that the season's over, that is a tough place to come back from.
It's I think this next one is the most fun here for the quarters, just because Kennesaw State's been so good to me this year. Let's talk about the next quarterfinal. Queens University Royals, 18-14, 7-11 in conference at the Kennesaw State Owls, 23-8, 15-3 in the ASUN, and they're playing in Kennesaw, Georgia at the KSU Convocation Center. Let's take a look at the line history. There's Lamont Williams in the house. What up, Lamont? Let's go Queens, Kennesaw. We have Kennesaw State opening up at -6. They're now -7.5. Even at Pinnacle, that was the same deal. But at Bet Online, let's move over there. Bet Online, they opened up -6. They're now -7. Totals wise, this opened up at 153.5. It's dropped to 152.5. Queens is on the second half of back-to-back after winning their first round match yesterday, 61-55 over Florida Gulf Coast is 2.5 point favorites. Kennesaw State comes in off its second straight win. It was a blowout, 72-56 at Central Arkansas on Friday as 9 point favorites. Kennesaw State won at Queens 76-67 and then lost at home just 10 days ago to Queens, 83-76 as 7 point favorites. I think Kennesaw State fires. I think they fire here. I think they're an angry group, and I think they're at home. I just think it's a Kennesaw State smash spot. And the cash wise, we have 2,267 tickets in, 69% of tickets, 79% of cash on Kennesaw State, 81% of tickets on the under. We don't have any cash flow there. Slight line value, few percent on Kennesaw State. Take it away here. And Lucas says, I'll be at the Missouri Valley Tournament on Thursday on my off day in a private box. I love it, Lucas. Take it away here, Pete. Any interest for you on the Kennesaw State Owls?
Yeah, I mean, I basically agree with everything you said. Kennesaw State has been a good ATS team this year in all spots, and I feel like I've definitely bet on them more often than not and generally done well with it. But this line also felt a little bit low to me. Didn't quite understand it. I did bet Kennesaw State first half -4. I took the first half under at 72.5, and I also took the Queens first half team total under at 34.5 on the overnight lines, and I like all of them. As usual, the only thing that makes me nervous is that the line doesn't quite make sense to me, but, I bet them, and that's the way I'm leaning, and I might make them official. Actually, you know what? You can make the first half under official for me, and but I definitely like Kennesaw, and it feels like they're the spot.
First half under, what was the number?
Yeah, let me just get a line. Let's listen to Daby Cab. I'll quote you the line later.
Take it away, Daby Cab, Queens University, Kennesaw State.
Yeah, I know Queens got that win in the head-to-head, but if you look at everything before that, they had a real sketchy run, 2-5 run to end the season, where Kennesaw State was at the exact opposite, 5-2. I think I agree with everyone on Kennesaw State here. The biggest thing for me is I know it's an outside chance, but they could get their first ever NCAA tournament berth here. They really could, and that's huge. That's a big fucking deal for this program. It's a revenge spot also. I like Kennesaw State here. I can really sum it up to that easily. They're trending in opposite directions. Kennesaw State's looking for a tournament berth. I think they come out firing. I think they come out on top.
Did you want to make this official for your card?
It's my thing, Jimmy. I don't bet something. I haven't watched these two teams play, so I just can't do it.
No worries. Kennesaw State Owls for me, first half full game smash spot. Loshak, first half under. There's our guy Machiavelli in the house, our in-house attorney, and he will be on his new motorcycle. I can't wait. I need to see that motorcycle in the parking lot of the Southtown 101. Machiavelli, that's what I need to see, man. That truck he has is just spectacular truck, man. He's got, he's an attorney. Of course, he should have nice toys. All right, let's roll on. Let
me put your line, Jim. You put 72 minus 110.
Under 72 at minus 110. All right, the final game in the ASUN quarters before we go into bigger schools is the Lipscomb Bisons, 19-12, 11-7 in conference at Stetson Hatters, 17-12, 12-6 in conference. We're at Edmonds Center for this one. Lipscomb finished strong and finished beating Stetson at Stetson 98-91 in overtime last out. It was a third straight win for Lipscomb, and it snapped a 3-game winning streak for Stetson. And it's a big part of what you think is going to happen in this game. Lipscomb played fantastic, 55.1% from the field, 50% from three, only turned the ball over 5 times. And they were 1.5-point dogs at Stetson in that one. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow for this one before we move back into the big schools. Lipscomb opening up as 3-point dogs. Lipscomb is now a favorite. They are now 1-point favorites. A huge move towards the Bisons here. Stetson opened up at Pinnacle -2. They're now +1. Let's see what BetOnline did. BetOnline opened this Lipscomb +3. Now Lipscomb's -1. Just a huge move towards the Bisons. Let's take a look at the total here in this one. We have it opening up at 151. It's now at 150.5. And cash-wise for Lipscomb Stetson, we have Lipscomb as the same amount of line value as Eastern Kentucky, a ton. So we're tied for third on the entire card. And the market moving quickly towards them. 3,464 tickets in, 40% of the tickets, 65% of the cash on Lipscomb. Then 17% of the tickets and 59% of the cash on the over. So big bets seem to be coming in on the over. It has dropped a half point since its opening. This is a tough one. Take it away here, Pistol Pete, ASUN quarters, Lipscomb Stetson.
Yeah, all right. Well, I had the wrong side here. I think Stetson has been pretty good to me this year, and I didn't quite understand the line, but I felt like I understood enough to take it. I did take Stetson at Pick'em on the overnight line, not at -3, but something's up with this line move. I don't understand it. Someone knows something, obviously. I also took the first half under, and I do like that. I got 71. It hasn't moved yet. Could lose, but you can make that official for me. First half under 71 -110. That's the current Heritage line. I also bet Stetson though, and who knows? I'm going to ride with my bet. We'll see. This also has live and second half written all over it, but officially I'll take first half under 71 -110.
What do you think here, Daby Cab, Lipscomb, Stetson?
Yeah, I won't make it official. I kind of agreed with Pete, man. I think Stetson's going to come out to avenge. I think they'd come out focused. I was kind of thinking maybe them first half. They did win 3 of their last 4. They have a 9-2 home record. This line, I'm not going against all that line value, especially on a game that I was only just kind of leaning on. So I'll leave this one at that because we got some big games. I got more action coming up in these later games that we're going to talk about.
What a big move towards Lipscomb. Makes me think that you have to bet Lipscomb. Big move. I think that it's going to be a stay off spot here for me at this point, but it have to be Lipscomb or nothing. Pete's moved on the first half under 71 -110. All right, let's head back to the big boys. Head over to the ACC. NC State Wolfpack 22-8, 12-7 in conference. At the Duke Blue Devils 21-8, 12-6 in conference. We're in Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. NC State had their 2-game winning streak shattered in a 96-71 loss at home to Clemson on Saturday. It was pretty ugly. They beat North Carolina at home by 8. Then they beat Wake Forest 3 days later by 16. And then they get just taken to the woodshed. Duke has now won 4 straight games. They're coming off a win at home over Virginia Tech by 16 points. This is their 3rd straight road game. And that's where we stand. Let's take a look at the line history here. Move over to Duke in this spot. We have Duke opening up at -4.5. Right now they are at -6, so a 1.5 move. That's over at Pinnacle. Over at Bet Online, it opened up -4.5, now at -6.5. So Duke getting love. Totals wise, it's opened up at 144 and it's now at 145. And cash wise for this one, we have, where is it here? We have 8,152 tickets in. They've given NC State some line value. 38% of tickets and 47% of cash on NC State, but the market's not moving towards them. 84% of tickets and 96% of cash is on the over, and it's gone up a point. Pete, any angles that appeal to you in NC State Duke?
No, not at all. Duke obviously has turned a little bit of a corner, right? How big of a corner? I don't know. Daby Cab can answer that better, but the corner has been turned. NC State, though, coming off a huge margin loss, and they're a high-character team. So no way in hell I'm going to bet against a high-character team as a dog off a loss. Don't want to bet against Duke here either. Pass. Maybe first half over, though.
Interested in the first half over. What do you think here, Daby Cab? Take it away.
I think there's a lot of things coming at play. Duke, I agree. Maybe they've turned that corner. Their last 4 wins, though, you got to look at where it's at. You know, Virginia Tech, Louisville, Syracuse, Notre Dame, only beating Notre Dame by 4. I mean, still 4 in a row, 4 good wins. I think the big point emphasis is their offense has finally been putting up points. Again, who they've been putting them up, though, is another question. For me, when you look at this, the bracketology right now has the Blue Devils as a 7th seed. That's because of their 4 straight win here. They have a chance to climb that ladder, and I really like at this point in time in the season to look at those things. You know, we know all the struggles Duke has had, but right now they're playing their best basketball, and they lost bad earlier to NC State. So I think there's a lot of revenge angle here. They've won 6 of their last 10 meetings between these two teams, so they do have the overall. Also at home here, Duke is 15-0, something we haven't talked about, while NC State's just 4-5 on the road. And NC State comes into this game right now. They're 5-11 in its last 16 road games ATS. So they struggle to cover the spread on the road. NC State's a great home team, not so much on the road. Duke looking to avenge that terrible loss they had. I loved Duke earlier at the -4, -4.5. I don't know about the -6 or 6.5.
And did you move on this earlier, or were you liked them and were thinking about it?
I liked him and was thinking about it.
All right.
I didn't love today's card.
No action for us in NC State Duke. Renald Brown says NC State wins, and don't be fooled because of the Duke winning streak. Troy Torrance is on a Duke Indiana money line parlay. Rocco Rogers says, "Give me Duke." And Troy Torrance says, "When line moves like this, it's easy. Duke." I don't want to fade NC State Wolfpack after that horrific loss. That's all. Simple for me. I'm going to stay off of this spot. Let's let our guy Dom Play lead us into the next spot. But Mike M says he's got Duke minus 7.5 at a 71% win model. Wow. It just doesn't line up for me, right? So let's move on. Let's head over to the Big East, and we'll let Don Play, who says he loves Nova today. Jungle Boy says Nova is a lock. Villanova Wildcats 15-14, 9-9 in the Big East. Seton Hall Pirates 16-13, also 9-9 in the Big East. Villanova playing some very good basketball here. They also beat Seton Hall at home 58-54. Just 17 days ago. So Seton Hall does have some Rebanga, but two teams moving in different directions. Seton Hall lost 4-5. Villanova's won 4-5. Villanova coming off winning at home versus Creighton after winning at Xavier. And Seton Hall losing at home versus Xavier by 22. That's what they're coming in with. So not playing their best basketball. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. This game, again, popping off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Nova opening up as 1-point dogs are now 1.5-point favorites. So a big move towards them from dog to favorite. This total opened up at 130.5. That's where it stands right now. And cash wise here, we have 3,999 tickets in, 63% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on Nova. Market moving towards them, 57% of tickets on the over. Pistol Pete, what do you think here? Nova, Seton Hall.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Nova is the obvious play, unless it's a trap. But Seton Hall, that point guard, that Canary Richmond was out, and that is a big loss for them. And again, Villanova looks like they've turned a bit of a corner as well. And so I haven't played it. I might later. Definitely has halftime written all over it, but leaning strong to Nova as of right now. Just a little bit worried that it might be some kind of trap, but strong lean to Nova.
What do you think, Daby Cab?
Yeah, same. Villanova, they're 4-1 past 5 games. They're coming off that big win against Creighton, like you said. Seton Hall on the other side, they're 1-4 last 5. And, you also said it. Villanova beat Seton Hall. Now, that was at home. They won 58-54. That was February 11th. Villanova struggles with a whole lot of things on offense. But one thing they do not struggle with is shooting free throws. In a game when it's supposed to be this close, free throws are important. Villanova is the best free throw shooting team in the country. They hit 82.3% of their free throws, which is just outstanding. In a game with a line like this, those free throws are going to come into play. I lean Villanova pretty heavy here also. Another one I haven't bet. I've got 3 bets that I've locked in for sure that I'll give out today. I might come back to this one. Seton Hall being at home would probably put me on Villanova first half, maybe a money line, probably because you can probably get pretty good value. And fuck, that sounds good. I might come back to Villanova first half money line. That sounds like a damn good bet.
All right. We will come back when we review everything. We have just 2 games left, one in the SEC, one in the Mountain West. Then we'll see if Peter Daby Cab want to add anything, and we'll put a bow on this show. Next up for us, 9 p.m. Eastern, Arkansas Razorbacks, 19-10, 8-8 in conference. At the number 12 ranked Tennessee Volunteers, 21-8, 10-6 in conference. We're in Knoxville for this one. Let's head over to the line history here and see what we have. Tennessee opening up as 7-point favorites. It's down to 5.5 at some books. Let's see what BetOnline has done here. BetOnline opened this at 7 and moved Tennessee to 6. So it was also 5.5 for a little while. It's come back to 6. It came back about 30 minutes ago. So Arkansas 6-point dogs. Totals wise, it's opened up at 135, and there's been no movement. This came out 1:36 p.m. yesterday, and no movement. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. 9,400 tickets in. All of the tickets and all of the money's on Arkansas. Wow. 84% of the tickets and 94% of the cash. Then you have 79% of the tickets, 66% of the cash on the over. 79 and 66. Wow. And no movement at all. Arkansas coming in off that loss at Alabama on Saturday, 86-83. They played tough. They had a 2-game winning streak and let it go. Tennessee snapped their 2-game losing streak with a win at home over South Carolina, 85-45, a smash and grab for the Volunteers. Pete, any angles that you like here?
This is a tough one. Tennessee at home with that guy Josiah Jordan James back, coming off that big win. I would like to bet on, but there's no way I'm going to fade Arkansas getting this many points because they're going to the Alabama game. But in general, Arkansas has been a team that has been undervalued and covering, so I don't want to bet against them with this many points. Pass for me, lean over.
What do you think, Daby Cab?
So this line's moved a ton. I got Arkansas +4 in the first half, which I almost guarantee is not there anymore. Maybe there's a 3.5 out there. I don't know. Arkansas, they're putting up 75.3 points per game. They lead the SEC in field goal percentage at 48.3%. What you just said was right, Pete. Jordan James coming back for Tennessee was big after missing 4 games. And he was able to put up points last game. But Arkansas, they have so much to play for right here. I know that the bracketology has them in, but they could very easily get kicked out of this tournament. Very easily. So Arkansas has to go into this game with the mindset that they're not a lock to play in the NCAA tournament right now. And furthermore, Tennessee's only covered 2 of their last 8 games. Their offense struggles against good defenses, which Arkansas is a good defense here. Also, Arkansas's covered 3 straight, which I think they continue here. I like Arkansas a lot. I got them first half, and that's where I'm at here. I don't like hearing all the money and all that stuff on the side with me, but it is what it is. It's what I bet, so it's what I'm going to give out.
And did you tweet that out?
I haven't tweeted anything out yet.
Okay.
So what's available right now?
All right. Right now, let's see what we can get you on first half. Sorry, let me move over to the first half. For the Pigs. See, sorry, it's just loading up. I don't know why it's taking a second here. Pete, anything you're going to make official?
No.
All right. Okay, here we go. Sorry, it took a second there to load up. Here we go. Let's see what we can get you. The best line. Here we go. Is +3.5. We can give you that at -110. Available a bunch of books. Pinnacle's got it -115, but there's a few books that have the 3.5 plus -110. Do you want that?
Yeah.
All right. Cab is in. He's on Arkansas first half +3.5 at -110. All right. Let's move on to the final spot on the board here for us. Mountain West action. Number 18th ranked San Diego State, 23-5, 14-2 in conference at Boise State, 22-7. 12-4 in conference. We're at Extra Mile Arena in Boise, Idaho. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. This one, there's not been much movement. San Diego State opening up at +1. Oh, wow. Wow, there's been a lot of movement at Pinnacle. Why do I? Oh, because I have the first half up there. My bad. Okay, sorry. There's been movement. San Diego State opening up at +1. They're now at +3. So we have a 2-point move towards Boise State. BetOnline opened this up as a pick'em, and they moved Boise State to -3, a 3-point move over at BetOnline. Totals wise is opened up at 133.5. It's now at 134. And cash wise for our last game on the card, we have a line value on San Diego State, but nobody betting them. 72% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on Boise State. Then we have 56% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the under. 56 and 93 on the under, and it's gone up a half point. That's a little confusing here. San Diego State winning basketball game. So is Boise State. They were both winning until Boise State lost at San Jose State 74-68 in overtime on Saturday to stop their winning streak. So this is a angry group here with Boise State. And let's just pull up the last time they faced San Diego State here very quickly before we hand it over to Pete Loshak. And they lost badly at San Diego State in their lone meeting this year by 20 points, 72-52. Pete, do you agree with this heavy market movement towards Boise State?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I liked. It's, I was on San Jose State second half in that Boise game, and they came back, and that was a big bet for me. Boise State's been bad ATS-wise, so I don't love – and San Diego State's been great. It's just it's such a huge spot for Boise. Boise's at home after that frustrating loss. San Diego State has clinched, I think, a tie. So if they win here, they get it. But if they lose, their next game is at home against Wyoming. Not exactly sure how much they care. But then again, these teams, a lot of times when they're in spots where they quote unquote don't care, they come in and their talent matters anyway. This is a play that I bet, and I'll make it official, although I don't love it. I'll take Boise first half money line minus 130, current line at Heritage. Boise first half money line minus 130, but I don't love it. Boise is not covering spreads right now. San Diego State is. I'll take Boise though.
What do you think here, Daby Cab? Take it away.
First off, we got to talk about these two defenses. Boise State only allowing 63.1 points per game. That's 29th. They hold opponents to 40.6% shooting. That's 30th. And only 29.9% from beyond the arc, which is 18th. That's good for 10th in adjusted defense efficiency. While on the other side, San Diego State only allowing 64.9 points per game. That's 45th. Opponents are shooting 42.2%. That's 94th, but still above average, and including a 29.1 from three, which is 12th. So that's good for 13th in adjusted defense efficiency. Both these teams are great on defense. That first game, I don't want to say you can throw it out the window, but Marcus Shaver Jr. didn't play for Boise State. Their guard, which is he's a big player for Boise State here. He'll be back in this game. I think that's going to be a huge boost for Boise State. I like Boise State here. I have not bet this one. I have one that I'm going to throw on there at the end if that's cool, but I lean Boise State too. I just haven't bet it.
And Loshak has made Boise State first half official. Before we review all action, first off, Pete, and then you, Daby Cab, before we put a bow on this. Pete, is there anything that you're adding to your card?
No, I'm good, baby.
Daby Cab, what are you adding to your card that we didn't discuss here?
Okay. Haven't been betting them all year, but I'm going to here. I got A&M in the first half. It's minus 2.5 versus Ole Miss here. I know they lost their last game, but that was the first loss before they had covered 6 straight before that. It's a senior night at Ole Miss. I got that. I understand everybody's going to come out talking about that. That doesn't matter. Their best players, 2 of them are juniors. One of them's a freshman. They're not a senior-led team. I took A&M first half here because I think they're going to come out hungry after that loss last game. Ole Miss fired their coach. They fired Davis, and they won their first game after firing their coach. Okay, but they beat LSU. I don't care about that. And also, you see this with teams when they fire their coach. They might come out that first game and play really well, and then they kind of fall back into who they are. I don't think Ole Miss is magically about to turn anything around just because of this coach being fired. I think A&M is still being undervalued and underrated for what they've done this season. I like A&M here in the first half, minus 2.5, and that's where I'm at.
Do you want the -2 at minus 115 for record keeping?
Sure.
All right, you've got it. There's been no line move on this game, but big bets all over Ole Miss. 75% of the tickets are on Texas A&M, but just 22% of the cash. So Ole Miss has 25% of tickets and 78% of the cash. 74% of tickets, 82% cash on the under. Daby Cab on Texas A&M first half -2 at minus 115. Anything else you're adding?
Nope. Those are going to be the 3 that I got today.
There you go. Let's review all college action and then put a bow on this show. First off, Pete Loshak's on the first half under 66.5, minus 106 in Marquette Butler. I'm going to be on Virginia first half at home against Clemson. And I really like I can't afford bets, but Cab's on Indiana full game. Loshak's on Indiana first half and full game. I think I can cut it down to 3 bets and maybe cut 25% off the unit size and take Indiana first half full game and Iowa team total under. So I'm going to be on Bellarmine first half. Eastern Kentucky first half. And it scares me because we had Jay Rush come in with North Alabama money line. Then Kennesaw State first half full game smash spot. Loshak's on first half under 72 in Queens University, Kennesaw State. Loshak's on the first half under 71 in Lipscomb Stetson. NC State Duke we stayed off. Villanova Seton Hall we stayed off, but Cab, you were close to wanting to move on Villanova first half.
Villanova first half money line is something that sounds very appealing to me.
So we'll wait and see if you add that to your card. Lee Davis is on Texas Tech money line. Cab's on Arkansas first half plus 3.5. Loshak's on Boise State first half money line at minus 130. And Cab closes off his card with Texas A&M first half -2 at minus 115. That is your college breakdown for today. Last Tuesday, we were exceptional. We must keep that rolling here today. Daby Cab will be back with us tomorrow. Daby Cab, our friend Pistol Pete Loshak, has bought his ticket to San Antonio, baby.
Let's go, Pete. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me fucking excited. I cannot wait to see you down there, Pete. What shenanigans are you getting into, Pete? What of this looks? What part of this are you joining in on?
Yeah. What?
Those shenanigans. I'm gonna invent my own. I'm gonna participate with all those, but I'm also gonna try to invent my own shenanigans. We'll see how it all goes. We'll see. We'll play it by ear, baby. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, society might not even exist by the end of March. I think it will. That's not a guarantee. I'm looking forward to it though, Daby Cab.
Well, it sounds like you want to take some shrooms down to the Riverwalk with me.
Count me in.
Shrooms on the Riverwalk. Let's fucking do it, bro.
What about,
Okay.
Do it, bro.
what about the Slap Fest at the strip club at 1 a.m. on Friday?
Yeah, man. Slapfest. Let's the strip club. Let's do it.
Is there
Let's
any
do
way we
it.
can get Jose?
Do I look like I want to do it?
Slapfest?
I think I look like I want to do it.
You do look like you want to do it. There's Big Show in the house. Daby Cab, absolutely excellent work. Why don't you just stay here? We'll just put a bow on the show. We just went over college basketball. We do need a birthday pick from Peter Loshak for Mally Mal and for our Lee Davis. So,
Okay, well, for Mally Mal, definitely Tampa Bay. And that's a re-gifted birthday pick. That's like when someone gives you a gift of Courvoisier, but then your friend has a birthday the next day. So you're like, hey, dude, I got you some Courvoisier for your birthday. And they're like, oh, thank you very much. But it was a re-gifted gift. I'm re-gifting Tampa Bay, which Jim gave to me, to Mally Mal. I'll say -1. Tampa Bay, they got to roll. Happy birthday to you, Mally Mal. That's got to be a fine play. That's got to be a fine play right there. Happy birthday to Mally Mal. And then a second birthday pick. Whose birthday is it?
our guy Lee Davis of Lubbock, Texas, who's going to be joining us, going to be coming down and partying with us in San Antonio for the Pubapalooza 2. What is Lee Davis's birthday pick?
Okay, now I'm not. See, Tampa Bay, I'm not getting heart palpitations because they should roll, But I could give Florida team total under, kind of the same birthday pick on a different game. But I'll go with. I think Detroit is pissed. They played a bad game. I'll give Detroit Red Wings team total over 2.5 -160. Sorry to give a -160 pick for a birthday pick. I don't like to do that, but I think it's a good play. And there you go, Lee Davis. Happy birthday to you.
And that was, Detroit
Red Wings team total over 2.5 -160.
team total over 2.5 at -160. Let's see if we can get Jose Bouquet to jump on and join us for the closing of this show. It'd be nice to see his shining face and that mane of his. He says he's going to come up here and put a bow on this. So let's review all action. Pete is on Detroit first period plus 109. Detroit team total over 2.5 -160, and the Wings -1 plus 203. I'm going to be on Detroit first period and Detroit full game as well. We're on Crawford spreadsheet, play of the days, Lightning in regulation. I'm all over this game, and so is Pete. Pete's on Lightning -1. Panthers team total under 3.5 -155. I'm on Lightning -1. Tampa Bay Florida under 7, and Panthers team total under 3. All of those bets have been made. I really like that hockey game and can't wait to watch it. I need to know if Korpisalo is going to be in net. If he is, I'll be on Columbus first period, and I think I'll also be on the under. But I need to know if Korpisalo is in net. Will not make that bet with Merzlikins. Then Pistol Pete Loshak's on New York, Minnesota under 5.5 -138. I'd like to take a very, very quick look at that, what that is right now, because I would like to join if it's still sitting at, now it's -145. 5-cent move in that direction. Boston, Nick, nice to see you. And Elvis is confirmed. Okay, so that will not be in my action. I'm not going to move on. And there he is. Look at that quaff right there. Jose back in business with us. Pittsburgh -1 at plus 130 for me. Loshak's on Penn's first period money line. We stayed off Seattle, St. Louis. I'm interested in the under 6 in Los Angeles, Winnipeg, but I'm going to look at it further. Chicago, Arizona, we stayed off. Boston, Calgary, off. And Loshak's on Montreal -1 at plus 256 for a huge score. Then in NBA, Wham's on DeJounte Murray over 1.5 threes and -130. And I'm going to be on Atlanta. I'm going to be on the under 234 in first half full game. Loshak's on the under 234 and the Wizards team total under 113, which I also really like. But I can't have 4 bets on that game, so I got to figure that out. Wham's on the Bucks first half -3.5. Pete's on the under 231. I'm interested in that under. Raptors first quarter at -1, -121 for Pete. I want in on that. Loshak's on the Lakers team total under 114. I'm going to be on the Nuggets team total first half over. Then Wham is on Isaiah Joe 20 or more points at +135. Loshak's on the Thunder first half +125, full game +3.5. I'm going to be on the Thunder and the under. Pimp slap play of the day is Dallas Mavericks -8.5. Bobby Boucher's Bobby Bomb play of the day is Mavericks first quarter -2.5. And Tom Miggins on Kyrie Irving over 5.5 assists, 2.5 units on that, but we didn't move on it. And then Shohan over 14.5 points for Wham Bam, -115. I'm interested in the under in Utah, San Antonio. Wham's on the Warriors, first half -2. I'd like to move on that. And I'd also want to bet Lillard under 37.5 points. Loshak's on Minnesota, first half +4, and Wolves team total over 113.5 at -102. And that concludes our action today. Jose, my friend, first off, thank you, Daby Cab. Follow Daby Cab on Twitter. He'll be back with us tomorrow. Pistol Pete, we're so excited about having you in San Antonio. And let's let the smooth vocals of young Jose Bouquet take over. Jose, you just dropped a new Say Hey video for the World Baseball Classic. What else is going on? And then can you please put a bow on this show?
So much is going on, Jimmy. More than people even realize. But yeah, shout out to my guy Dan. He joined me and we talked some Korean baseball. For those of you guys that want a little Baseball World Classic preview. If you want to also go to sleep, according to Ramos, it's a good sedative as well. So if you want to put the kids to bed, I've got a lovely voice. You could also do that. So shout out to you, Ramos. I appreciate you for letting me know. But yeah, Baseball World Classic, Pubblepalooza. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Daby Cab's infused dinner on Sunday evening. Peter's going to be there. Can't wait to pick up Pete from the airport. That'll be a whole lot of fun. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait for that. And of course, the slap fest. I mean, who doesn't love grown women slapping each other until unconsciousness? I mean, who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love that? And the equine athletes. I'll put that up before you raise your hand, Jimmy. The equine athletes are going this weekend as well. And I learned that term, equine. I did not know that was a term for an athlete. That is a term I've learned from Jimmy the Bag going off this weekend. So a whole lot of good stuff going on around the pub this week.
I have added to your vocabulary because you use gank now, right?
Yeah. I've been ganked. I got ganked. Well, I guess I was the ganker, but no, I got ganked. But yeah, no, it's one of those things.
I don't know what that word means, but I don't feel like you ganked anybody.
Oh, it's simple. It's if you go outside and your car is not there, it's being ganked.
Oh, okay. You got ganked. You didn't gank anybody. You ain't hitting no licks, Jose. I know that.
Come on, dude. I'm pretty intimidating. They roll up with my sweet tea tits. They know. They just smell the aroma and they know what's up.
Sticky, sweet.
Yeah, you hear me coming up first. You just hear my shoes sticking to the floor, obviously. Pete, have you ever been robbed by anyone that smells like sweet tea?
No.
Lucky for you.
They're scared of me usually.
That's true. You did fight off a Jaguar last week.
You did.
Whew. All right. What a card today, huh? A lot of plays going.
Lots of action. Ooh, hands are sweaty.
Oh my God, you fucker. You gave me that. Dude, my hands cannot stop sweating. Like literally, my hands do not stop sweating nowadays. So shout out to Jimmy the Bag as well for that.
My man, can you please send us into the future? Bless our picks and let us.
Sure. Come to Pubblepalooza. We'll be hitting licks left and right. Hopefully, we'll be getting some BBWs for Mr. Loshak as well. You know what, Pete? I can guarantee you there will be BBWs at the slap contest at the Diamond Show Club on Friday.
I'm just saying, if Eddie Van Halen can make demands in his contract, why can't I?
Why can't you?
Why can't I?
Why
you don't know who Eddie Van Halen is, but that's okay. Don't worry about it, Jose.
I don't. But that's good. That's good. All right, everyone. Let's get those fucking buckies.